Hey everyone, welcome to Scotch Doubles 2019 Trimester 3, the final of course. Harris here with you,
And Jake as well. Good to be here.
yes, it's nice to have I've always wanted to commentate with Jake on finals, but I've just never gotten the chance because our schedules have never lined up. But
Yeah, I always have work on a Saturday afternoon, so that means as soon as I lose second round in every CueSoc comp, I'm just heading straight home to work.
Yeah, so God bless you're here, Jake.
Hell yeah, man. Hype.
So for your players today, we've got obviously two per team. We've got Thomas Lamb, who is on the very left of the screen there. He's a third year. Oh, sorry, he's in the middle of the screen there next to Weissing. Yeah, you can start. Thomas Lamb's a third year comp sci at UNSW. Gordon has gone off to the very left there, who's Thomas's partner. He's a sixth year studying med at UNSW. We've got Weissing there on the right, lagging, who's UNSW third year. He's arts and business. And then Alex, who just went to the right of your screen, is actually from USYD. He's studying nursing and he's third year.
So Weissing wins the lag there, which is very important. I just played Thomas and Gordon in my second round match, and they seem to be adopting a soft break strategy, which would be very problematic for Weissing and Alex, because they like a lot of players in CueSoc are fast, rhythmic players. So very important for them to win the lag there in this case, and they've done so, obviously.
Yeah, 100% in a race to five. Race to five as well as a format, Scotch doubles. But like you're saying, Jake, race to five is can go really quick. So I guess the lag is just as important in this, if not more important than in other formats. Race to five and Scotch doubles. That just means you have to alternate shots between your partner, and you'll also alternate breaks between your partner.
So we're just getting ready to break here. Alex miscues the break.
And what an excellent start we have here today.
I'm not sure if that was a legal break, but it seems like they're opting to play on.
It's their choice. So you can choose. Do you want to re-rack? You re-rack.
So I think they've opted to re-rack here.
Yeah, so Thomas and Gordon will get the choice there because I don't think Alex's break sent 3 balls to the rail. So, and even if it did, I think it's unanimous that we're gonna have a re-rack. It's your choice. You can break or you can let them break. So if I was Thomas and Gordon here, I'd be choosing to break. Pretty big advantage here in the opener.
What I've noticed though is their break isn't too strong. They're using snooker cues, and they're obviously from a snooker background, so they struggle to get their body behind the shot to get enough power into it to really spread the balls. But we'll see what they opt to do here. I think they're opting to re-rack, yeah. Probably a smart decision.
Yeah, so while we wait for Gordon here to re-rack, I was going to say, Jake, that the best thing about Scotch doubles when you compare it to single competitor competitions and non-team competitions is that playing with another person on your team and having to account for that in your game is like it adds a lot. Adds a lot to the game theory and like the meta game, if you like, of playing. So I think you'll see here that a lot more like. Obviously, roles and the lay of the table will have a big impact on the game, but I think especially with doubles, the biggest thing is pressure and mentality, and sort of playing to sort of sync up with your partner and stay in rhythm with your partner. I think that's going to be the most important thing for both of these teams today, and yeah, the most important thing for anyone playing Scotch doubles, as opposed to playing as a single competitor.
Yeah, 100%. Synergy is really important. You've got to know your partner's strengths and weaknesses and play to them. And as you were saying, furthering your point about pressure, some people may think that playing with a partner puts more pressure on you because you're playing not just for yourself but for someone else. But for me personally, I feel like having a partner helps take the pressure off when you make a bad shot or something, because your partner can be there to help you like calm down or something. If you're getting a little bit tilted. So I don't know. It depends on the person, obviously. But so Weissing's just made the 12 ball. But I'm not sure what he has next.
Well, yeah, I think I agree with you there, Jake, because Thomas and Gordon, they're regulars at snooker competition. I've seen them play at snooker comp before, and I know they're really good friends when they're at the comp or just outside of this comp anyway. And I know that Alex and Weissing know each other really well, so one of the pluses, I guess, of both teams is that each partner knows each other really well, and you won't have any sort of, I guess, conflict between the teams, which is a must, I think, so that you don't... Because the last thing you want to do is when you miss a shot, it's one thing to have pressure from the other team for you missing your shot, but it adds a whole nother thing if you're having to deal with the pressure that comes from your partner as well. So having a partner that is pretty like easygoing to what you're doing, and accepts the fact that you're going to make some mistakes, is probably the most positive thing.
Yeah, 100%. So Weissing just barely missed a very tough cut along the rail. It was a good effort, but it looks like the only option they've got here is to play the 4 ball, but it may or may not be blocked by the 7 ball here. So I think they'll probably opt to play safe here. Their safety game, obviously from the snooker background, is very strong. So
yeah, I was talking to Alex before, and I don't know if you guys remember, but at the start of this rack as well, had a pretty soft break, and there was a lot of clusters at the bottom of the table here. I guess you can still see that, but I think especially with 8 ball in a Scotch doubles setting, you have sort of two major options, right, for winning frames. Your first option is if you have a good layout, if your 8 ball is open, and or if you need to make a breakout shot, if you only have 1 ball that's tied up, your first option is to obviously run out the table, right? That's the most ideal situation. But I think, especially at CueSoc level, you'll often run more into the second option, which is wait for your opponent to break out the balls. Like if you still have your group on the table, like if you still got straps on the table, you just want to leave it at this point. Like even if we take this rack for example, if I was either team here, I would just leave the rack as it is and wait for the other team to make a mistake. I think that's the best play here. Obviously, Alex and Weissing here are going to try and clear out are they stripes? Yeah, they're stripes. But the thing is, at CueSoc level, if you can't clean up the whole table and you leave 1 or 2 balls left, that can be a big problem, because you'll find at the end of the racks, I'm sure it'll come up multiple times in this game as well, where we'll have like 8 ball battles, or like 8 ball battle with 1 object ball remaining. 100% that is going to come up.
It happens so much in CueSoc 8 ball, but I feel like that's what makes the game of 8 ball so beautiful, is that at the pro level they have a big break obviously, and their positional play is second to none, so they almost make it look too simple. But for the amateur player, I feel like there's a lot more complexity to the game of 8 ball in playing breakout shots and creativity than there is in games like 9 ball and 10 ball especially.
Yeah, I think on an off note, I actually the previous Scotch doubles comp I competed in, I played with Jono, and we managed to take the title that year because Jono carried me.
Yeah, big flex, bro. Come on.
I think, yeah, if I apply what happened on that day to this day, the biggest tip I would give to these players, if I was going to talk to them, is just be relaxed and just be so easygoing. Even if you miss and your partner misses, just
pick yourself up and keep going, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just play with what you've got. Sometimes the roll doesn't go with you.
Yeah.
And 100% having a partner that doesn't doesn't flame you for missing is the best thing you can have. And then again, the best thing you can do is just play how you play the shot. And that's how you have the least pressure. Yeah.
See Alex lining up a bank shot here. He's taking a lot of time on this one. I feel like the position on the 15 will be pretty natural if he makes it, but there's a big window between the 6 and the 2, so very makeable shot here.
I think biggest problem for Alex and Weissing, even if they make this ball or whether they don't, is the 10 ball's lying in a pretty...
He's made it. Oh, it's rattled out actually.
I think it rattled, yeah.
Just barely.
But for Weissing and Alex, getting up for the 10 at the top of your screen there, and then coming back for the 11 or the 15, or even the 13, especially when there's that much traffic from the solids there, it's going to be quite difficult. So if I was them, I'd try to clean that 10 out early, try and get position on it early. And meanwhile, Thomas and Gordon have like a really nice layout here, since all the solids are sort of towards the middle of the table. So for that 3 ball, I think a safety coming up here though.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely don't want to leave the 10 for last, but as long as they don't leave it to last, I think they should be fine, because if you manage to get sort of up towards from where I'm facing will be the top right hand side of the table, and it will be the same on the video here. So if they can get up there with a slight angle, they should just be able to roll it down the table. But they've now moved the 13 balls, so that's because they missed the shot, so that's gone wrong. But we'll see how this develops.
I mean, not a bad lead.
Yeah, I think they left it pretty close to the rail, so it's a bit fortunate for them. But looks like the 1 ball's pretty on here.
Yeah, I think I'll call it now, Jake. Like this frame, I reckon it's going to go to that point where you've got 1 or 2 object balls left, and then one team will be on the 8, and the other team will be playing safety. I think that's going to happen.
That's gonna be how it ends up. But It looks like Gordon and Thomas have a little bit of a cluster here with the 1, 4, and 7 balls, and they've just made it even worse. So I feel like this is not an advantageous situation for them, because compared to the layout that Weissing and Alex have, everything's out in the open, pretty much hanging in the pocket, and the 8 goes cleanly into the bottom left-hand pocket. So they got a lot of work to do here. Looks like Alex is opting to play safe here on the 11 ball. Simple. Oh, he's trying to cut it in. He's managed to block the pocket. That's one thing about 8 ball that is different to all the other games, is that because each team or each player is playing a different set of balls, leaving your ball over the pocket isn't necessarily a bad thing. And in this case, it looks like they've blocked the path for the 6 ball to the corner. So even though they've missed, it's not exactly the worst case scenario they could have had in that situation.
Yeah, I think Weissing and Alex probably in the more favourable position here.
Yeah, 100%.
Because after they sort of knocked that 10 ball out, and now that the 10 ball's potable from the bottom half of the table, the ball's sort of in Thomas and Gordon's park, if you will. Like, they have more problems than Alex and Weissing have to deal with. So.
I think he's opting to play the 5 ball here, but from where I'm sitting, you're going to have to throw this in with quite a lot of side. I don't think this is going to go. It doesn't go straight in past the 4, so he's just opted to play it safe instead.
I think especially, like you were saying before, Jake, Thomas and Gordon come from that snooker background, so we've already seen like a lot of, like balk safeties, rail safeties. I think that's quite a common shot choice among snooker players, is to leave distance.
It's not always going to work on a pool table, because the table's only 9 foot long, and even if their opponent isn't of a snooker background like themselves, long potting is such an important part of the game. It's what a lot of people practice the most. So I don't think, especially Alex and Weissing, they've got quite a good long game, so it might work against them, their sort of bulk safeties and just leaving distance. But we'll see as the match progresses, obviously.
Yeah, so nice chance here. Just roll forward for the 3 for Thomas.
Yeah, he's got a slight angle. This is nice. He's missed the pot.
Yeah, I think the queuing is a little awkward there for him.
Yeah, definitely. On the rails, always the toughest shot. But he's got a very fortunate leave, leaving Alex having to jack up over the 5 ball, which is far from ideal. But he's lining up. Is that a combination on the 13 and 15 ball? That's pretty.
I think that's what he's called. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very brave shot, but I think he's also going to aim to leave it on the balk. Oh, and the 7 has dropped, thank God. Otherwise,
yeah, pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Because if that 7 stayed up, it probably would have blocked the 15 and the 13 in that pocket. It's a pretty fortunate roll there.
And another fortunate leave. That seems to be the story of this frame. Is just fortunate leaves, but there's nothing to stop them knocking in the 2 ball and drawing out 1 rail into the center of the table, and then having any number of shots available to them. That looks like what he's opting to do here.
Yeah, I guess it's just the sort of maybe it's the impact of the pressure of playing in the final and the opening frame of the final as well. What a pot there from
What a shot! Exactly as I called, he's just drawn out, but almost a little too much.
I think that was definitely the right shot there. That was a really confident stroke, and that was all Gordon needed to get into the game. Now I think it's just up to Thomas to get in stroke as well. But a really nice shot there.
He's left him a tough back cut on the 6 ball into the bottom left corner pocket, and he risks bumping the 8 ball here, so he's got to be careful.
I think he's playing the 3.
He's playing the 3 instead. I think he's opting to play a safety and maybe break out the 5 and 1 ball.
Ooh, shot.
Yeah, very nice. Kind of like a 3-way shot. He was playing the pot on the 3, the safety behind the 1 and 5, and also to break them out. So you got to look for those kind of shots in 8 ball, because that's how you get marginal gains in improving your layout and making it runnable.
So I'm not sure if Weissing can see this, but he's probably got to rail first, even if he can't. Yeah, he couldn't see the full face of the ball.
Yeah, just sort of hidden by the 4 ball there, which is unfortunate, but another quite fortunate leave. Looks like they'll have to play a similar shot to what was played on the 2 ball just a couple shots ago. Kind of a slight back cut into the corner pocket. I think he's opting to play the 3-ball instead. It's a little awkward from our camera angle, our view, because kind of at an angle to the table, so it's tough for us to see the lines of some of the shots. But
I actually think Gordon's really he's already online from the previous match. He's really in stroke actually. That was quite a close miss. So that's really nice to see actually, because often I've like preached this in previous videos, Jake, where if you come into a match timid, it's usually a negative thing. But it's nice to see that Gordon's really in stroke.
Yeah, that was 100% my issue earlier in the day. It's just the pressure really gets to you, and it's hard to lay out your stroke because you're scared of missing. You know, it's a competition. You don't want to disappoint your partner, and it's just like a lot of the time that leads to tightening up on the stroke and your grip as you follow through, which is absolutely the worst thing you can do in the game of 4.
So I think Alex just pointed to the 6 in the bottom right. Oh, sorry, the 8-ball in the bottom right here. From where I'm looking, it goes pretty clean.
I think he's left it just about perfect. He had a very narrow window there to get on the 8 into that corner because of the 6-ball, and I think they've absolutely nailed it.
Very nice shot. Very nice shot.
Very well played.
And it wasn't a foul either. Definitely, I think he hit both balls at the same time. So really nice spot there from Alex, especially on the rail.
That's
1-0.
There's one thing about Alex is his fundamentals are absolutely fantastic. His stroke is one thing that never lets him down. He's always just got a cool head, following his pre-shot routine, just everything the same, every shot. And that's what you need.
Yeah, so while we wait for Alex to rack up here, let me bring up the draw for Challenge. Let's have a look at Gordon and Thomas's bracket here.
So they had a bye. They had a bye
on
first round, and then in the second round they versed Mark and Marcus, beating them 4-0. Quite a convincing victory. And then in the next round,
yours truly,
versing yours truly, me and my partner David, who was supposed to commentate today but has completely disappeared, unsurprisingly. But they beat us 4-1. But the scoreline doesn't tell the whole story there. That was actually a very close match. Each frame going down to the wire, 8-ball. Lots of battles on the 8-ball. Just got a bit unlucky towards the end. David missed a straight in 8 after I played an absolutely monster long rail bank, and that's what lost us the match. But and then they moved on and played Grant and Will, who were one of the favourites for this tournament. Obviously, they've been playing they're the first seed, was it?
Oh yeah, they were number 1.
Yeah, number 1 seed, yeah.
Yeah, Grant Lian, previous snooker winner and competition winner, and also Will has won a bunch of competitions as well. So really well done by Gordon and Thomas to knock them out.
I think Grant's won the 9-ball as well, no?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He won 9-ball earlier this year.
Grant's just an all-round fantastic player. Again, from that snooker background, so his fundamentals are absolutely on point. But what we've noticed today from Gordon and Thomas is they play a very slow game, which for a lot of people it tends to get to them. And I think it did to Will and Grant as well, especially Will. Will, like myself, is a very fast player. And it's really tough when you're sitting down for 3-5 minutes and then you come back up and you've got a real tester, and then you've got to, you don't make it, you lose the frame. It's like that's an immense amount of pressure, and it's really tough to play against. But we're looking here, it looks like a nice break from, was it Weissing that broke?
Alex racked up. I can't remember.
Look, I'll be honest, I wasn't watching, but it looks like a nice spread. So I would definitely favor Alex and Weissing here. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't want the bump there. He wanted to come across the 11. That was actually a really nice opportunity for like a break and run or something. Even if the 14 was tied up, they probably would have gone for the breakout. But probably a bank here. I'd say in the middle pocket.
Yeah. I think the 14 is definitely bankable in the side as well. It's slightly off the rail, so I think it's opted to cut it. Probably the wrong shot there. The knuckle of the pocket is absolutely huge on those sort of shots.
And so going back to the bracket, we have Weissing and Alex's draw.
Yeah.
They played Oliver Chang, 2019 T3 9-ball winner, and Toby Wong with a 4-2 victory. And then went on to play Reikl and Fook. Another big upset today.
The second seed today.
Yeah.
Upsetting them 4-3, a very close match.
Yeah, since Reikl and Fook has been a recurring Scotch doubles team. They played 3 competitions together, and they made it to the finals every time. So big upset there, but well done to Weissing and Alex. And then they played Navin Niranjan, our boy from I think 2018 semester 2 9 ball.
He did win that 9 ball comp.
No, he got pumped.
Oh, did he really?
He didn't win.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Against Samuel.
Yeah, Samuel. Yeah. Samuel's obviously an absolute monster.
But I mean, Navin, strong player there, and also Leon Yao, who's #1 seed in CueSoc, so not in this comp, but just in the player base. And another convincing 4-2 victory over them. So
yeah, I believe he's got a Fargo rate of something like 540, right?
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, absolute monster.
Wow, great shot there from Gordon, cutting it one rail across. That was really authoritative as well. I think I'd definitely like to see Thomas presented with a shot where he just really gets to let his stroke out. That'd be nice to see, so that they get sort of in the same rhythm.
I've been noticing a pattern that it's usually Gordon who tends to play those sorts of shots, but Thomas is more of just a solid, good positional player. So they kind of bounce off each other in that way. See, like that. Controlled stun off the rail. It's a very typical of a snooker player to play a shot that way. You might see a pool player opt to go 2 rails around the table.
Yeah, he played that vertically, right? Yeah. The tangent line to the rail.
A pool player would never opt to do that just because their pace control is obviously not as good as a snooker player. So general pool theory is to use as many rails as possible to maximize your margin for error, but they seem to have just thrown that out the window and just doing what works for them, and well, they got to the finals, so you can't really argue with that.
Speaking of pace, I think Thomas overall is slightly. I think he wanted the 7.
Yeah, definitely wanted the 7, but I think it's definitely still potable. It's not too tough of a cut.
Oh, no shot.
He could have
raced to 7 or 5.
Why is it going to take 2?
Don't worry, we just brought 5.
He could have hit that one a little bit harder and gone around the angles, but they might just opt to somehow deal with the 6 and 1 ball in this case.
No, I think he's looking at the 6 in the side.
The 6 in the side? Does it go past the knock? I can't quite see from here.
Definitely does.
Oh,
it's just a little awkward of an angle.
Okay, that's not too bad then. And it looks like if they do that, they can manage to. Looks like the cue ball's in the jaws of the pocket, so getting over for the 4 ball is going to be quite tough here. But they might be able to roll, just natural roll it short side of the 4, I'd say. Depending on the angle they leave, they might be able to do something with the 1 ball as well.
Or 6 to take away. So like we predicted, Jake. Actually no, I predicted that for the first round, so I was wrong. Right. An interesting situation here, which is like the common outcome, I'll say, for most 8-ball racks at this level is a few object balls left, 8 balls still on the table, and one or two problem balls. And like here is where you see the most decision making, the most discussion between the partners, I think.
Yeah, this is where 8-ball gets really tactical, and it's the beauty of the game is dealing with these problems. It's like, do you just leave it and leave your opponent to deal with it? Do you do something with it? Go for the shot? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Exactly.
It's all about risk versus reward.
I think, yeah. What would you do here, Jake? This is quite an interesting shot.
So it looks like they do have the 6 in the corner, but they're going to be queuing over the 1 ball. So it looks like the 4 ball is quite available. You just got to queue over the 14, which shouldn't be an issue for them. That looks like what he's going for, and he's got a gap between the 14 and the 6, so this is completely fine. The 6 definitely goes on the side, and it looks like they've left an absolutely peach angle to just knock the 1 ball here. This is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jake, that it was important for Gordon to get on the top side of the 6 there, just by a centimetre or 2. Not too far, obviously, but just by a centimetre, so he could maybe run into the 1 here.
I think they can just hit it center ball, and they'll hit the 1 full in the face, which is send it off the rail and down towards the bottom of the table. So
and knock the 11 out of the way, I'm guessing.
Oh, he's missed the ball. He opted to hit low on the cue ball there, which was definitely the wrong choice. That was just a natural shot. Just had to hit it center ball.
Yeah, again, I think Thomas had the right idea in his head there. He just his stroke got away from him, and he ended up sort of half stunning it. So
I think they can still see the edge of the 1 ball though. So I think they'll opt to play safe towards the top left-hand side of the table.
Yeah, just above the 10, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where I would be leaving it, sort of on the rail.
And then the only shot they'll have is the 11 ball here, just below the 1 ball.
Yeah. That is exactly what Gordon played. And didn't get all the way to the cushion, but I mean that's close enough. And the ones over the pocket. So if Alex and Weissing miss this, or if
I think
Weissing
it's below the pocket though, so they.
it's over
not.
the middle.
Oh, it's just over the middle.
Yeah, just slightly on the bottom side.
Oh, okay. So
It
it's
definitely goes from all sides.
yeah, but this is probably the toughest position they could have on the shot for sure.
I think I would just fire the 10 in, to be honest. I think Weissing might tickle the 11 here. Ooh.
Oh, he's missed it, and that looks like a rack over because they're in almost perfect position on the one ball to just slide it down for the 8 with a touch of right hand side.
Yeah, that was not a bad attempt at all, actually. And it was really close to coming to potting.
I think I would have taken the 11 ball first there. You always want to play an angle in pool. It's very important. Makes it easy to manipulate the cue ball. But Weissing instead opted for the long straight shot, which is always risky. And they finished just about perfect on the 8 ball here.
Yeah, I think Gordon will have no problem with this. He's just assessing his angles, but yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah.
So, on an unrelated topic, Jake.
Yes.
I was talking to my mates about this the other day, but we've actually got a new City Heroes opening.
That's true.
Do you want to tell me about that?
Well, so there was a bit of controversy at the start of the year that the lease for City Heroes and Town Hall was to expire and would not be renewed by the current landlords that own this whole building with event cinemas and Time Zone, Hungry Jacks, all of these things in Town Hall, just in Town Hall Station. But so in preparation for that, the owners of City Heroes have decided to open up a new location in Burwood in the Inner West, and I believe they will be having brand new tables for the entire. They'll have brand new tables. They'll have a selection of diamond pool tables, which are widely regarded as the highest quality pool tables in the world. They'll also have some Chinese 8-ball tables, which are great practice for any pool player. Forces you to line up the shot to the heart of the pocket because it's cut like a snooker table, but it's the size of a normal 9-foot pool table. So, and you play with full-size pool balls, correct? So the balls barely squeeze in there. It's great for practice. I believe Jason Shaw, in his home, has one of these tables and practices on it very regularly. So, yeah, and they'll also have some snooker tables as well. So, but I've heard recently that the City Heroes here, where we are currently today, just confirmed recently will be staying open. So we'll now have 2 locations.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. So, I think the new City Heroes build is gonna be in Sky Plaza or some plaza, something like that. But it should be a short walk from the station. And yeah, like you said, Jake, Inner West, it might be easier for some people to get to.
100%.
It's a little further away from me, but I'm still gonna be making the trek there. But if you guys have heard of Century Bar, which is one of the other businesses aligned with the City Heroes group, Century Bar is like a darts and a bar with darts machines. But it's like a entertainment business, I'd say. So City Heroes Burwood is essentially just going to be a combination of the pool tables we have here. I think they'll have the gaming cafe as well, like Legend Internet Cafe, and also like a Century Bar. There'll be a bar there. There'll be darts, and it's just meant to be like a entertainment business. So the reason why that's so relevant is obviously CueSoc, we hold our events as City Heroes, and seeing a new business open in the same name I'm pretty keen for it actually, and no doubt CueSoc will be hosting some events there, and that should be opening up sometime next year, maybe early next year.
Yeah, we might see some CueSoc Chinese 8-ball tournaments, which could be interesting.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really keen actually for the Chinese 8-ball tables because I've never played on anything like that before. So.
Obviously, CueSoc League on a Monday night, I've tried hitting a couple pool balls around on the snooker table, and it's very, very difficult. You have to hit it right, clean in the heart of the pocket, obviously. So if that's the entire game, it can only be good for your game, 100%. So we've seen Weissing's made a good shot here, but I think Alex missed the next shot. But it seems to be a nice spread, so the pressure's on both teams here to just make something of this chance and try and run out. But it looks like Gordon and Thomas have got a very unlucky leave.
I think Gordon's pointing at for Thomas to do the roll-up safety here.
Yeah,
knock the 8 out.
He can easily get behind the 8-ball here. But the 6-ball's close. If they leave an edge, it's going to be...
Oh, pretty good shot.
Still got a full ball of the 7, so shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be behind that, but I guess the goal of that whole shot was just to get the 8 out of there, so it wasn't tied up by the
Yeah, 100%. He also managed to leave it on the ball cushion, which is always good.
14 ball, so it wasn't tied up for the 14.
A great pot from Weissing into the middle pocket. Has he got a shot? The 2 will definitely go to the bottom corner, so a great chance for Alex and Weissing here. Right in the heart of the pocket, and slid over a little bit too far.
Yeah, I think he's really close to the 3, and his angle is quite wide. Yeah. But I think if I was Weissing, I would just go for this, or bank it or something. If he makes a 3, he's pretty much got position on the 4. Anywhere sort of in that half of the table. Oh, wow.
So he's managed to cut it in. And the cue ball has rattled in the jaws. Absolute luck of dogs over here.
I mean, yeah, he did fire that. So, I mean, what could you expect, right? Weissing was just sort of hoping for a roll there.
I mean, the shot was good. He played a good pot, but position was never predictable in that case. When you have such a thin cut, you never know what the cue ball's going to do. So you're just leaving it up to the pool gods, really.
I think Alex is lining up a cut here. There's sort of a gap in between the 2 strike balls, so I'm not sure if he's going to scratch or not, but we'll see. We'll see what the angle is like when he hits it. Maybe he's lining up the bank here, actually. Oh, he is. Yeah, I think he's lining up the bank to the middle here.
Kind of a two-way shot. There's an element of safety to this as well, which is probably smart. You always want to be looking for those shots, as I said.
Even if Thomas moves, it cuts. So sorry. So they've agreed on something. I'm not sure what. Let's see what Alex
From what I
takes.
heard, they just said, I've lost. I was speaking to them before the match, and they're just trying to keep their underdog mentality.
Okay.
Yeah. It's worked for them so far, is what they said, that, being the underdog, so trying to keep that up. People is going absolutely buck wild there.
Yeah, I think he tried to cut it in the bottom left there.
Weissing was just saying they've got position for the board. While true, the rack for Thomas and Gordon here is absolutely wide open with an easy opening on the 12 ball with a nice angle to get almost anywhere on the table.
Yeah, I think the 10 also passes the 4 ball there. So yeah, really good chance here. I think, Jake, I'd probably come for the 10 here first.
The 10 ball?
Because you can come really close to it with this shot here.
I'm not sure the 10 does pass the 4 ball though. It does? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little tight, maybe 3/4 of a pocket, but I think it definitely goes. Let me just double check.
What's the verdict?
That's a full pocket.
A full pocket. Okay, so absolutely wide open here for Thomas and Gordon.
I'd probably take that now and then take the 9, so that you're 11, so that you have.
I think they're opting to take the 13 ball, but if this were me, I would be leaving this 13 ball as the key ball. Because you can leave a large variety of angles on this 13 ball and still be able to come across the table for the 8 ball, but
Just gonna avoid the scratch here.
yeah, he's done well. And this looks to be a nice angle to sort of come around, either for the 11 ball there, if you'd like, just above the center pocket, 2 rails. He's got to miss the 4 ball, but maybe he can also. I don't think he can get on there. Yeah, they're gonna have to leave the 10 ball for last. It's probably not the ideal key ball to have, but if they can finish short or straight on it, they'll just be able to, stun or draw back. So this looks okay for them.
Quite an unorthodox position there, playing for the short side of 11, but it's worked out for them. And Thomas played it really well. Got him straight in. Wow, what a shot.
A lot of people would call this very unorthodox pattern play, but pattern play is something that definitely is different for every player. But in terms of textbook 8-ball pool, this is definitely not what ideal pattern play would be described as.
So I think Gordon and Thomas here, they're just discussing which ball they want to leave last to get on the 8 ball. I would definitely.
For me, I would leave the 9 ball's a pocket hanger, so you can do a lot with that. But
I would definitely take the 10 first.
10 first.
After the 9, as in after the 9.
Yeah, that seems to be what they've done, and they've finished very good on this. It looks like they got the perfect angle to just As long as they're off the rail a bit, they can hit low on the cue ball to just slide over for the 15. But that is probably the worst cue ball they could have chosen.
I think it's okay because
It's alright. If they leave an angle, it's okay.
Yeah.
They can just come out one
Exactly.
rail.
wide angle is good on the 15, and like there's such a big margin of error because it's sort of off the rail there.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
a huge
actually
pocket.
it's a huge pocket,
Yeah.
and it's a wide variety of angles you can get on after hitting it in to get on the 8. So I think I think this 10 ball is a little trickier because of the reverse cut, and because the 4's there, your visualization of
So
the
it's,
shot's
it's
a
hitting
little
low.
off.
I would opt to actually hit above center on this ball. You can just roll it one rail off the top rail, but that seems to have worked okay. If you come off the top rail there with a bit of topspin, maybe a touch of left hand side, would have got a lot closer to the 15 ball. So now they've got another back cut. They don't seem to mind, but
I think this is okay. I think as long as Thomas doesn't put any unintentional side on this so that it goes in the middle pocket,
yeah.
if he just gets sort of halfway near the middle of the table, it should be fine.
They just missed the pot, and it looks like the 4 ball is 100% on.
I think if Thomas wanted to draw that shot there, he should have definitely let it out because he didn't get enough draw there. It
He
sort
had a
of
very
came.
soft draw.
It
He
came
got good
across
action. He
into
got
that.
good action, but the speed wasn't there. I preferred a stun shot in that case.
I would have played top rail.
Oh yeah. You love
Sort
that
of
shot though,
top
with,
spin
with
and
inside,
come
right?
back down. Oh, not even inside. I would have just played center ball.
Weissing has tried
Weissing's
to.
done the same thing.
He's trying to force it out with a bit of off the top rail with a bit of left hand side, and I think he hit it a bit hard, kind of punched the ball. So the side spin didn't take off the rail because he hit it too hard, and you've seen the cue ball just die. And it looks like Alex will be forced to play some sort of bank shot here, long rail into the top right corner, and with such a shallow angle for the bank shot, this is incredibly easy to miss. The double kiss may also be on, so a good stroke required on this one.
Yeah, the long rail bank here would be huge. It's actually a really hard shot to play. It's one of the
tougher
harder
shots.
banks on the table.
One of my favorite shots actually is a long rail bank.
Yeah, when it goes in, it looks like a beauty. We'll see how Alex goes in.
I happen to know that Alex is a big fan of these sort of shots, and he has a nice angle to avoid the double kiss. So I'd say probably a 40% chance this one goes in, but we'll see how he does. See him just hesitating on the shot a bit here. Definitely a pressure ball with the 15 hanging in the pocket. But look at the way the cue ball's going to track. It's going to come off the bottom rail to the side rail and then back towards the top right corner. So it looks like there's a high chance of getting, even if they miss the shot, it looks like Gordon Thomas will be very straight on the 15 ball. Potentially. So we'll have to see. They're taking their time on this one for sure.
I think Alex doesn't like the long rail bank. I think he wants to
I
just
think
play
he doesn't
safe.
at all. You can probably play an equal separation here and just sort of float it on top of the 6 ball and just block the path to the 15. Hope to get ball in hand. That would be a more methodical way to win this frame. I think that's a smart shot.
That's a really nice shot.
That's a very intelligent shot. You may think he's tied up his own ball, but there was no way they were going to be able to play safe there. So blocking their opponent's shot on the 8 ball was probably the best outcome they could get there.
I think I favor whose shot is that? I think it's Gordon. I think I like just putting and playing safe here.
Oh, 100%.
Just come sort of above the 8
But
on
with
the right side.
the 6 ball on the rail, it's not a hard 1-2 rail kick to hit, and I think it's close to it's in between the first and second diamond. So and he's miscued.
Really amped up there. I
He
think
did. He kind of stood up on the shot early, just getting a bit anxious to get. I think his tip might have taken some damage from that one, but he's choking
not
up.
a bad leave again.
He's choked up. It looks okay. Yeah, not a bad lead. I think not really much in the way of safety here for Weissing. So
I think the bank's actually lying pretty good as well.
yeah, that's true.
'Cause he can
Yeah, he's
avoid
calling
the
it.
8 ball.
Yeah. And if he plays it soft, he'll be able to leave the cue ball close to the rail for a cut up the rail on the 8 ball. So it's probably a good option. It's just come up a little long, but a good leave. A very thin cut on the 15 ball into the bottom left corner, but should they make it, they got an option to go up 2 rails to the 8 ball, or if they're feeling it, maybe a bit of a deep screw off the top rail with some outside.
I think the cutting angle's a little thin.
It's a bit thin, you're right.
It
So
might scratch.
if they can avoid the middle pocket, there should be a pretty natural 2 rail path to the 8 though.
Actually, I really like if you sort of draw it and bank the 15 into the right
Oh,
middle,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you can leave the cue ball sort of
So behind the 8,
under
right?
the 8, and then
Maybe like just leave the edge of the 6 ball.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like even if they can see the 6 ball, it's in a really tough position.
Yeah.
That's a shot that I like.
I think that's what they opted to do, actually. And a great touch on that ball. He's just missed the bank.
Oh, correct shot though. I think that was
100%.
really well played.
Yeah. But it looks like they got the full ball on the 6. You're gonna have to get creative to get on the 8 here, though.
Alex probably just gonna play.
It looks like
Angle's a little odd.
he's sort of looking for the path the cue ball's gonna take after hitting the 6 ball with what is known as the tangent line. So if you hit any ball at an angle that's sort of wider, just a little bit wider than straight, the cue ball will rebound off the object ball at what is called the tangent line. So basic circle geometry, the tangent to the circle at the point of contact. So looking for the tangent line, it looks like comes somewhere towards just past the second diamond on the left rail, above the middle pocket. So if he can draw it, he might be able to draw it just one rail into the line of the 8. So a very fortunate leave. The 6 ball has blocked the pocket, but I think the 15 will go to the middle. I thought it was below the pocket from where I'm sitting, but it goes.
It's a really thin cut.
So I think they'll opt to play a pace control shot, just roll it down to the end rail and out. If this were you, Harris, how would you play this shot though?
Whose shot is it? Is it Gordon's or Thomas?
I
think it's Gordon.
I think it's Gordon's, yeah. But he's got,
I'd probably just draw this out
yeah,
and come.
2 rails around.
Yeah, so
below
in between the 6 and the 8.
below
and
the
just
8,
come
2 rails.
below it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would go for as well. Looks like that's exactly what he's done. He went for what I said. They tend to like those sort of
One
pace
rail
control shots. Yeah, 1 rail position. Keep it simple.
The line was there if Gordon wanted to put side spin on it, but I think he just
100%.
played center ball.
Yeah, guarantee the pot. And this is definitely a makeable shot. Interesting to note that that 8 ball is almost near where the black spot would be on a snooker table. So you'd expect them to have no trouble with that, but it seems that Thomas has missed the shot.
And I think this is just a tester for Lessing.
But it's very, very natural position if he can just roll it
Exactly.
and pot the 6 ball.
So try to stay down.
The rail's kind of a guide here, giving him the only part of the cue ball he needs, so he doesn't really have a choice, Oh, has he left it behind the 6? I think he has.
He hasn't.
He hasn't.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. You can see a fat shoot. I think you can see the full ball.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you can definitely see the full ball, but
So Gordon will just cut. Gordon will just cut this. And yeah, I'm guessing we go to 2-1 here. Maybe Gordon's wary of the scratch here in the right middle as well.
yeah, definitely. He might want to play this with a touch of inside spin just to prevent that. Of course, makes the pot a little bit tougher, but we have a term in pool called helping English. I think he's avoided the scratch very nicely.
Good shot, really good shot.
So when you play a thin cut like that, it always helps to play it with a touch of side spin. It doesn't matter what side, to prevent what's called cottager's throw. So when you hit a ball thin, because the contact is so thin, you kind of get a skid from the object ball, which makes it go offline. So just a touch of English helps to prevent that. And you see that's exactly what he did. He played it. I think a touch of outside spin, which made the ball come just above the right middle pocket there. So a great shot from Gordon, racking up for the 4th frame.
And yeah, since there's only a race to 6, so we're already...
Race to 6, no, race to 5.
Oh, sorry, race to 5. What am I saying? Since this is a race to 5, we're already pretty much halfway through the race. And again, just reiterates the fact that in Scotch doubles particularly, in CueSoc Scotch doubles, it's really important to get those early frames because it gives you a lot of momentum.
Yeah. It's always tough to be chasing, especially in a short race like this. It puts a lot of pressure on you. You go down, say 3 frames in a race to 7 or a race to 9. It's always possible to make a comeback. But in a race to 5 like this, 3 frames is you're pretty much on the hill, so it's really difficult. You see them sort of switching up their break strategy here. Earlier in the day, they were breaking a lot softer. I think they've got the hang of the break as the days progress, but we're still seeing a lot of crosses on the table. Probably a testament to the lack of power they're getting behind the break. You know, a soft snooker tip really doesn't help for that. For a break cue, or when you're breaking, you prefer a hotter tip because it imparts more energy and power onto the cue ball. But he's played just a simple sun shot there. Left himself straight on the 9. A little straight for my liking, but it looks like if he follows forward, he may or may not hit the 8 ball, which could be problematic.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they're going to deal with the 11 ball here as well, since I don't know, your only real attempt at getting that out is a 15 ball, and they've left sort of a wide angle here.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're comfortable playing a lot of side spin, but if you could get a lot of inside spin on this, you might be able to come off the side and then the bottom rail into the 15 ball here and break it out. And it looks like I think they're just setting up to play maybe the 12 or 14 ball here, but we'll see. Yep. So kind of in no man's land here. It's a very big side pocket there with the 3 ball in front of it, so a bit of potential for a scratch here.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, Jake, where I was saying if you have a problem ball and you're going to run out the table, you should try and break out that problem ball early.
As early as possible.
Yeah, because the problem with trying to break out an object ball with your second last group ball is that given that you get the pot and you successfully break it out, you're not always guaranteed a shot
right?
on the ball that gets broken out. Whereas if you leave all your group balls before that, even if you break out the problem ball, and you get an unfavorable roll, at least there's a higher chance you'll have a shot.
Another shot, right? Yeah, definitely. 8 ball's all about that. Like much like in snooker, you're playing for an area and a group of balls rather than a specific ball as you would in 9 or 10 ball.
I think Thomas went for the breakout there, actually.
But he's finished kind of low on the 15, so there's a large possibility for just like a safety shot here, leaving it on the bottom cushion. Off the 11 ball. Huh?
The red's that,
Yeah, the red ball, off the 11 ball there. They can kind of just stun it off and leave it, hit it off, leave it on the bottom rail, and then, hopefully not leaving a shot, but we'll have to see what happens. So Harris, recently City Heroes began reclothing the tables.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring that up.
For the first time in a year. The cloths have been on for a year now, and they're absolutely filthy.
Yeah, it's been well overdue. But,
that was because they thought they were closing this location, so they didn't want to recloth them unnecessarily. But since the lease has been renewed, we have new cloth on all the tables. I was actually just playing on it before, and it's
super slick. It's super
so
nice.
Slick. You feel like a professional. You just barely even touch you get a little tiny bit of spin, and that cue ball just takes off. It's great.
And obviously, like with our final today, we're not playing on a recloth table, but I'm sure for a ball comp, which is
all of the tables will be recloth.
Should be next month. Yeah, all the tables will be done, so we'll definitely have the nice blue on the camera for you instead of this pale
sky blue.
Sky blue. But yeah, definitely. Whenever the tables get reclothed to City Heroes, it gets me going, man. Because the draw just plays so nice. It really
the deep screw, man. Takes off like those old wind-up cars. It's like those.
Yeah.
It's like
goes,
those. Yeah.
Goes back and then forward.
Yeah. So it looks like they've got quite a fortunate roll here. So it looks like Gordon and Thomas will be forced to play some sort of. I don't think that they can bank the 14 ball into the middle. It's definitely blocked, but they're going to look to move it into a more favorable position, hoping they get another visit to the table at some stage. Oh, he cut it into the middle. What a shot.
And he held for the 11. What a great shot.
Wow.
That was
very risky. Playing a ball slow like that, you risk getting a what we call a kick or a skid on the object ball.
I think actually that was the confidence booster that Thomas needed to get into the game, because that was a
It wasn't a big stroke, but
It was high pressure.
It was a higher pressure, and you had to be very accurate in that
Yeah,
case.
that was a really nice shot. So yeah, well done there to Thomas, and yeah, little angle on the 11 to come.
Ooh, he's just cued across the ball there a bit. I was directly behind the line of the shot. I saw it, and he just at the end, he just kind of twitched his hand and brought the cue sort of to the right across the ball, which caused him to miss.
Yeah, because anything can happen in Scotch doubles too.
This is true, and it's been a long day. Obviously, they're getting a bit tired. Concentration is starting to wane, and Alex has played lock-up safety here. Well, maybe not. You know, it's pretty easy. Yeah, it's a pretty fat gap between that 8 ball. He kind of hit it a bit soft, but easy 2-rail escape. I don't know how good their escape game is. Obviously, they're playing snooker, so it's kind of like half the game, right? But what's interesting to note is the rails on a pool table play very differently to that of a snooker table. And I think as a snooker player, it would be take a while to adjust for sure. But I don't know what they're opting to do here. They're playing a 1-rail.
I reckon Thomas will play this really soft.
I like a 2-rail kick here.
I like 2 rails and just smashing it and calling a random pocket.
Yeah.
And trying to hope for a roll.
Yeah, 2 rails is running English. Maybe leave it up table a bit. But he's just opting to go 1-rail, so a lot riskier. He's tucking in his shirt to prevent shirt foul.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna try and roll up here and maybe tie another ball up or something like that.
He has to get the second. Has to get a rail up to contact her. So hopefully he's aware of that rule, because giving up ball in hand in this situation would be end of rack almost. Yeah, he's done well there.
Oh, that was a good speed actually.
Yeah, he's done very well. But obviously, he's gonna leave a shot. There's not much you can do,
I think the speed was actually really good. Another 5 and the 3, even though they go in the top right there.
So it's a tough
sort of
cut.
it's awkward.
Yeah.
Since the
This is what you were talking about earlier, Harris. Is you run the table and you leave one ball on one of your balls from your set, and then the opponent's full set of balls on the table. The run out just becomes so much more simple, and it looks like Alex and Weissing are just gonna waltz around the table here, just potting balls left, right, and center, and potentially running the rack.
Yeah, exactly. So even if Alex and Weissing miss, it's really easy for them to play safety since there's only one ball on the table that Thomas and Gordon are allowed to hit. So I think come down for the 7 or the 3 here.
That's why it's so important in April that when you go for the run out, you really need to ensure that you get it, because otherwise you're just digging yourself a hole. He's played very nice on the 3 ball here. Kind of left a slight back cut, but that's nice to come down for he's popped the 11 ball. I don't think it blocks the 6 ball. He should be fine. He definitely got a path past the 11 ball, right?
I think he can pot it. I think he'll be alright. It's just the positional play is a little awkward here.
Might be a little straight on this as well, which could be bad, but he's hitting very low, so no chance.
He wants a 2 in the middle.
And it's gonna scratch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Weissing put too much speed on that.
Yeah, definitely. But he also missed the pot by quite a.
That's true. He was pretty unlucky to.
Distance,
I think it was a double kiss or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Thomas and Gordon now, I think they're just looking at whether they want to come to the bottom end of the table and take the 8 in the middle or the top left corner, or if they want to just come across and stay on top of the 8.
Much better option, yeah. With the 8 where it is, that bottom left corner pocket is, well, at their level, it's, if they get anywhere close to straight on the 8 ball, it's almost impossible to miss. But into the middle pocket, you always risk hitting the knuckle. Well, obviously, with their potting skills, potting into the middle is almost not an issue for them. You see Thomas coming up to the table. I think he favors these shots. You saw him make a fantastic one just before. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So they're going to the lead, 3-1 now. Starting to get a bit of momentum, which is a bad sign for Alex and Weissing.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where both Thomas and Gordon, so both players on the team, have had enough table time to where they can, stroke confidently and properly. So yeah, really good position here for Thomas and Gordon. I think Gordon's breaking out.
We'll have to see just what sort of breaking ups to do here. Will they return to their sort of soft break, which could be advantageous to take, to sort of prevent Alex and Weissing from getting into, a confident stroke and rhythm. Could be a smart decision here. We'll see what he opts to do. No. Quite a solid break. No balls down though.
Oh wow.
And a very open layout. It looks like this, aside from the 9 ball, these stripes, this set of stripes is absolutely wide open for Weissing and Alex.
Yeah, I definitely, like you said, Jake, I favor stripes as well. I think with the 9 ball, if you can come off the 15 and sort of stay on the bottom side of the 9 ball, it goes into the middle of the 7 ball.
Ooh, he might bump it. Ooh, I don't think it may or may not pass the 5, but we'll have to see. But he's definitely got a shot in the 11 ball.
But even then, I think the shot that I was suggesting before, where you play it sort of half ball or quarter ball off the 7, it's actually lying pretty nice. So as long as Alex and Weissing, if they don't want to break it out early, obviously, if they leave the 15 or the 11 to get position on the 9, it should be an easy shot.
Finished quite straight here on the 13 ball, but on these shots you can sort of... Oh no, he seems to like he's off the rail, so he's got quite a bit of angle to work with. He's finished well.
Yeah, this is the angle I was talking about actually. I really like if Alex just comes across for the 9 and takes it in the middle pocket and plays it off the 7.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on. 7 ball just off the higher jaw of the middle pocket, so you can almost hit it anywhere between half and quarter ball, and that's just going to go straight into the middle pocket. Just has to be careful not to get behind the 5 ball. Ooh. Oh, and look, it's rattled in the jaws because
I think too thick there.
it's kind of a tough shot with the 15 right on the knuckle of the pocket. There's always the potential for that, but
I think Alex he hit it too thick, and I think definitely on those shots where it's lying with that angle over the pocket, you want to overcut it.
yeah, you want to go rail first. Yeah,
Not like you
I
can go
would
rail first.
I would have
as
gone
well.
rail first in that case because
But even if you're not going to go rail first, you
yeah.
overcut it.
Yeah. Obviously, the pockets on these tables aren't exactly the tightest. You've got a fair bit of margin for error on the pod, so I'm not saying it makes it easier. Pool is still a very difficult game to pick up, but at this level, these pockets are definitely more of a help than a hindrance than, say, on one of the tighter tables we have over the backside of the Euro.
And Gordon's got a nice angle here on the 2 ball to
Break out that.
to run into the 5.
Yeah. But I think he's going to hit the 9 instead, which could be an issue. May end up tying up the ball even more, depending on how hard he hits it. Set up and just play the 1 ball first.
Yeah, I think still curious to see how they deal with the 5 ball here, since the 9 ball is blocking the potting angle.
And they've now played onto the 2 ball, which was pretty much their only ball available to break out that cluster. So, as I've seen before, very unorthodox pattern play, to say the least. But it seems to have worked for them, obviously.
He's really close to the 6.
You can easily play the 3 ball. You got almost a full cue ball to play the 3, but you definitely want it to be on the 6. You can just play it like a stun shot, and then he leaves both the 3 and the 4 ball. Sorry. The question is, if they can get close to the side rail, is the 5 ball potable? Past the 9.
I don't think so. I think the 9's blocking too much of it.
If they can get just below the middle pocket and close to the rail, no, definitely not. It definitely blocks. So it's very straight on this. And by the looks of things, he's gotten almost dead straight on the 4 ball, which is probably the worst thing that could have happened in this situation. But considering the position he had on the 6 ball, it's not really much he could do. I'd say they opt to play the 3 ball first here.
I don't think they can see enough of the 3. I think
The 3 ball? You don't think it goes past the 8?
I think it goes, but I think they're just blocked by the 8. So I think Thomas will try and draw back for the 3.
It's definitely the
and
riskier
sort
way to
of
play this pattern.
Window back here.
See, he's kind of... You saw him had a long pause on his backswing there. He's kind of hesitating to hit the shot, and wow, let's just say that 9 ball is very, very bankable into the middle pocket in that position. And one thing I know is that Alex is not at all afraid of these sort of shots. They just have to get rid of the 10 ball first, because, oh, actually the 10 ball may assist them in some way, but I'd definitely be looking to take that out of the equation before playing the 9 ball.
Yeah, I think the only other option if they wanted to break out the 9 without a bank would be off the 11 ball, but it's all about what angle you get off the ball that's hanging over the pocket here on the bottom right. Some extra deliberation here from Weissing. Actually, if he wants to leave a good angle on 11, he can sort of just pot the 15 and sort of roll up and leave a nice angle just above the 11, and then he could run into the 9. That's an option that he has. But maybe post control is the issue there. It's kind of hard to control the cue ball as it comes out from the 15.
Harris, you had a look at the angle, but let's say they get kind of short side on the 9. Does it go
Oh
past
yeah,
the
I think they could go short side as well. That's actually, I think it goes as well.
I think it definitely goes past the 4 ball, no?
I think the short side angle for the 9 is definitely on too.
I think they can go back off this 15 ball here. They've got like kind of a shallow angle, so they can almost just draw it along the bottom rail and potentially get short side of the 9 and then just deal with it right now. For me, that's probably what I would opt to do, because think about playing a bank shot is it plays differently on every table because the rails react differently to, you know, like a collision with another ball. So it's very hard to predict what exactly will happen unless they've been playing on this table all day and had time to adjust. It's not really a shot I'd like to take, but he's instead opted to play the 11 ball, as Harris said.
I think he tried the first option to try and leave an angle on the 11 to come into the 9.
And he's left a good one. I think he can just sort of play just above center ball and run into the 9 ball here. Oh, he's just missed it. It's okay, he's gotten kind of just above the 10 ball here. So with being mostly straight on the 10 ball, he can opt to play a bank here on the 9 ball, which is probably optimal. But if he really wants to go for it, he can kind of go 2 rails, a lot of side behind the 9 ball for short side position, but he's obviously missed the 10 ball.
And yeah, so the ball rolls back into Thomas and Gordon's park. Sort of really hard to come back for the 5 or break out the 5 off either the 3 or the 4. So.
I don't even know why they're looking at the 4 ball here, because you've got an angle on the 3 ball, yeah? Like, use that to your advantage, and then I think the 4 is the better ball to run into the 5 off of.
Yeah, if anything, right?
Yeah.
Since it's lying sort of close to the pocket.
Yeah.
So you can sort of I don't know.
Cheat the pocket a bit, you know, do something with it.
Yeah, do something.
And that is what they've opted to do, obviously. Getting down the shot now, and with the slide angle, he can just stunt to the rail and out, and leave a nice angle on the 4 ball to potentially break out the 5. He's missed the pot, and where's that 8 gonna finish? So if they can see the 10 ball, they should be fine, but otherwise they would have been forced to knock the 9 ball out, which would have been very, very bad. Ooh, that looks like a nice safety. I don't know if they blocked the 4 ball or the 3 ball, but managed to tie up that 5 ball even more.
Yeah, this is actually really nice for Alex and Weissing, because I think they're trying to sort of like tempt Gordon and Thomas into trying to break out the cluster. And so I guess Alex and Weissing are just going to play the waiting game. Just going to see what reply Thomas and Gordon have to this situation. And then who knows what the breakout will hold. And then if they do not succeed, then it'll be an easy cleanup.
The problem I see here, though, is let's say Alex and Weissing do need to, you know, make a move. That 8 ball is a big problem in potentially playing a bank shot on the 10 ball. But they've once again missed the pot, and another fortunate leave. I think there's a window past the 4 to just play 1 rail into the 9 ball there, so this shouldn't be too bad.
I think he played the 2-way there. Sort of trying to pot the 3 and come behind the 4 anyway.
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right. I like going 1 rail and trying to hit the 9 ball thin, and then coming around back up to somewhere near where the cue ball is now. Oh, he's intentionally fouled. and that's definitely a questionable shot, I would say. What are your thoughts on that one, Harris?
I don't think it's too bad, since the 10's like, they knew that the 10 was going to be hit full in the face, so it would block the pocket either way.
Yeah.
But I think Lysing, again, a little bit too much on the power there. I would have liked to just
Roll it
really softly.
and then just like freeze it up on the 9-ball, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because even if you roll it, even if you under-roll the 4 there on the intentional foul, it's kind of still a good thing because the 4 gets tied up.
Yeah, for sure.
But then if you overhit it like that, the balls get dispersed a little more than you'd like. So I think with this situation here, it's actually quite runnable for Thomas and Gordon. They just have to be
100%.
really specific and precise with their shots. But that, I think that was just the case of the pace there on the intentional foul. But yeah.
What I like doing is, I think they got the same ideas. Just pot the 3, kind of draw back just a little bit to leave a slight angle below the 5-ball to attempt to break out the 4, but kind of play it softly as like a two-way safety as well, which I think is what they'll opt to do.
Well, what would you play here, Jake?
I think I do exactly what they're doing and play the 3 first, kind of draw back just a little bit, finish just below the 5, and then make some sort of attempt to knock the 4 ball out. But the problem is with that is you never know. Oh, I think they can play the 4 to the middle first from the rail. It's a tough shot for sure, but
I think the 5 definitely goes in the bottom left. So if you took the 4, I think actually Gordon was looking at taking the 4 to the middle or the corner and then leaving the 3 ball, just drawing back off the 3 ball for the 5, like you said.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good
that's
run.
the best way to go.
Let's say make sure of this part.
Yeah, let's say they didn't want to play the 4 ball because they didn't want to take the risk. I think what I said previously was the best way to go because you can kind of play like a half safety off the 4 ball when you knock the 5 ball. That is when you knock out the 5. He's played a great shot there. I think they've got the choice of either the 5 ball or the 3 ball here. So
that was actually great. That was really great. Worked out exactly how they wanted, and they're straight on the 3, which is nice to just draw back maybe a centimeter or 2.
yeah, one thing you got to know is a problem a lot of pool players have is playing a controlled draw shot, but for a snooker player with such consistent fundamentals, this is just, a normal shot. Controlling the draw is one of the most important skills you can have on a snooker table, so obviously no problem with that. I think they've left a good angle to just roll off the bottom rail off the 5 ball and leave them straight in on the 8, so looks to be another rack on the board for...
Yeah. Get the rest out. You don't want to be stretching for this.
Oh, no. God, no. A lot of people seem to think the rest is like a crutch, but it's definitely necessary, especially in this kind of shot. I expect their rest play to be very good.
I think he's just wondering if he's going to bump the 8 here.
Definitely not. Oh, he's missed the pot. And that was the chance to get on the hill, and instead, this is now wide open for Weissing and Alex. But I think he can definitely see the 10 ball, but he can't.
Yeah, he can't see the 10 ball, so he'll have to play a combination here.
I'd be playing safe here for sure.
I would play the combo, but roll it with topspin and stay up there into the
I
table.
think that's what Alex. He's playing it with inside. It looks like, so just leave it.
What a shot!
Got it. What a
was great
monster shot, and left the 9 ball hanging over the pocket.
And then probably just one rail out here for Weissing. That was a really great shot by Alex.
Yeah.
Under the pressure as well. That was excellent.
Yeah, 100%. Great shot.
And yeah, like you said, like you pointed out, Jake, I didn't actually notice it, but he played the inside as well to hold it.
Yeah.
Off the rail.
Oh, beautiful. Just navigated onto the 8 ball there. It's a very vital skill in 8 ball, is being able to navigate through and around balls with precise sort of tangent line manipulation. And Weissing's done very well there. A huge margin for error on that positional shot, so now the score is now 3-2 in favor of Gordon and Thomas. Looking like we got a tight one before us, but Alex and Weissing to break. This could be a quick one, potentially.
Yeah, that was really good actually. So Alex and Weissing can get back in the game. So I think if it was 4-1, if
That's
Gordon made that, it would have been tilt.
Yeah, that's full tilt right there. Let's hope Alex doesn't miscue again. Yeah, all right. So just going up now for the 6th frame. Alex to break. Let's hope he doesn't miscue again. Cleaning the cue ball in preparation for his second break of the match, I believe. So Harris has gone to the toilet just now, my co-commentator, and also Alex. So just a little bit of a short intermission between these frames here. Just Weissing just checking the rack, and we should be underway shortly, but quite a large spectator base here for the Scotch double finals here. It's one of our most popular competitions in CueSoc. You know, I think people tend to love playing with a partner because, you know, you can play with your close mate or, you know, even someone you don't know. It's a great time. Weissing now is just next to the commentary booth. Would you like to have a couple words, Weissing?
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to talk about?
So, you know, that was a pretty crucial rack to close in. Had you lost that, you would have been down 4-1, right?
Yeah.
So
3 racks.
down 3 racks, you know, there on the hill. That would have been quite problematic, no?
Yeah.
But instead, now 3-2 is
I guess
winnable.
We could still catch up. I think
Yeah, definitely.
we just need to, you know, be positive and like still believe that we can still, you know, win.
What happened to the underdog mentality?
Well, I mean, like just throughout the whole day, we have been the underdog, and so I guess we went into this thinking, oh, you know what? It's not as bad if we were to play Will and Grant instead, but you know, I guess we kind of just underestimated.
Okay, so getting back into the action, Alex has made a great break with a fantastic spread. He's made the 6 ball, and he's managed to leave the cue ball very close to the center of the table with what looks like a very open shot on the 1 ball. If it were me, I'd definitely be taking the solids here. Looks like only the 3 ball is really tied up. The 5 ball will pass the 8 and 3 into the corner, and yeah, it looks pretty simple from there. If he can get a finish slightly on the left side of the 5 ball, left side is straight, he'll be able to just sort of bump the 8, which will leave the 3 ball somewhere towards the bottom right corner pocket.
Yeah, really nice chance here, like you said, to leave Alex on the
5 ball.
the top right side of the 5 ball on your screen there. Yeah, he's checking the angle now.
Yeah, nice controlled stun shot here. I think he's got a slight angle on the 4 ball, but a nice controlled stun shot with maybe a touch of inside spin will just kill the cue ball nicely and leaving them exactly where they need to be. But he might instead choose to go to the rail and out. I'm not too sure what kind of angle they've got. It looks to be pretty straight, so we'll see what they're up to do.
I think Alex is a little bit on the top side of the 4, so he's just double checking to make sure he can hold his cue ball and not come too far for the 5.
Waitro's going around 2 rails, and will he come up high enough for the 7 ball? I think he has, just barely.
And yeah, if you can see it, maybe he can come 1 rail out back to the angle where Alex wanted to be before on the 5. I think when Thomas and Gordon get to the table, the good thing is the 10-13. The 10-13 is not lying too bad for a combo, so and the 9's there for easy position in that combo. So if we see Weissing and Alex break this pack out and they miss, then Thomas Gordon will have a pretty good chance. But that was a pretty nice shot there.
That was a nice shot to bump out the 14, so leave them on the 7 ball, but they've kind of finished wrong side of the 7 here to get back on. Maybe coming around 2 rails to back to the center of the table, just above the 12 ball there, for a shot on the 5, but pace is very important here. play this with quite a lot of right-hand side to bring the cue ball around 2 rails, so just increasing the difficulty of the pot.
I think the 5 goes in the top left.
Oh, it's kind of a
So
risky shot.
Alex will
there.
probably play it.
Has the leave on the 5. Quite good. He's blocked the 14. But they still have the 12 ball to the middle.
Yeah, I think the 14 still goes in the middle as well.
Yeah, the 14 will go in the middle, but not in the shot. I don't think they can get past the 5, but
As in, like,
yeah.
it's not too bad that the 5's blocking it.
But if you see here, where the 13 and 10 ball are on the end rail, potentially, with the right stroke, they could possibly bump into it now after the 12 ball. I'm not sure what kind of angle they have. It's kind of awkward for this angle to see, but they can definitely get up towards that end of the table and maybe try something on those balls. If not, there's always the 9 ball there for some sort of insurance policy.
So yeah, like I said before, I think it'd be good for Gordon to just take the 9 here, and then for Thomas to take the combo on the 13-10 there.
But I think the 10 ball is closer to the rail, right? And the 13's a little out from the rail, so...
They're the same.
Are they the same? Oh, you're right. They definitely are. So that's a pretty simple combination shot, actually.
I think just the biggest consideration is what they're going to do with the 11 ball after they do this. Yeah, you see that they're both sort of discussing the combo now. Maybe if after they play the combo, they leave a nice angle on the 14 into the side, they could try and break out the 8 ball and 11 ball. That's an option.
It's finished very nicely on the 10-14 ball combination.
Yeah, he can just draw this back, and then the 10 will hold there, since it will bump off the cue ball and the 13 ball. I think this is lying pretty nice, like you said, Jack.
You always want to be straight on these shots, just to minimize the possibility of missing the shot. Combination shots are some of the hardest shots in the game of pool because with the slightest, you're playing with 3 balls instead of just 2 to pot the ball. So the slightest miss on the first ball and the trajectory of the second ball will go off completely.
Yeah, it exponentiates, right? The angle just doubles on the other ball.
Oh, he's mishit that one quite terribly. I think I was right when I said that it wasn't quite set, as Harris said, but it looks like they've not left much of a shot besides the 5 ball. But looking at the location of the 5 ball and the angle he's got on the shot, it looks like it's a pretty natural breakout on the 3 ball here, and he's done it beautifully and left the perfect shot on the 7 to just come back up, 1 rail out to center table for the 3 ball, and then the 8 should still go in the corner pocket. If not directly, they can throw it in with a bit of side spin.
Yeah, I think the 8's actually in the same position as when Alex shot it in the first frame. Where it was
almost
really
exactly
close to the
almost
other.
exactly the same position, except the 11 ball's kind of in front of it, so they might be forced to kind of throw it in with a bit of side. I think they will have to do that. But how's the angle on the 3 ball here? I think they've got an angle to come around 2 rails off the bottom rail and just slide by the 8 up towards center table, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the trick is just to avoid that 10 ball.
Yeah, that's what they're looking
And
at.
come
You can see
around,
Alex
like
just
you
sort
said.
of checking the tangent line.
Actually, yeah, avoid the 10 ball and avoid the 8 ball as you come back
Yeah,
across the line.
because then it could kind of, depending on how it bumps the 11, it could come back up towards center table, and they might be left a shot. So, yeah. Play the percentages here though. See what happens. A good chance to go level though at 3-all.
Yeah, he hit the 10 ball full in the face there.
Not ideal. I think he needed a slight bit of topspin there just to follow it, get it past the 10 ball. A soft stroke with a lot of side was a better way to do it there, I think.
Actually, yeah, Weissing Correct. I think that's the correct shot there. Weissing actually just called it. I don't know if you guys heard, but
A carom shot.
yeah, he called the carom off the
The 10 ball.
10 ball into the middle. Yeah, that's the shot I would play.
But I think it's pretty set because it caroms. I think the other 8 ball and the 11 ball touch it.
No,
They're not. Okay.
the 8 ball definitely has enough to hit the 10.
Okay. So this is a potentially fantastic shot here. Some highlight reel stuff. And he's completely whiffed it. And the 8 ball has hung up what looks to be over the corner pocket. So should Thomas and Gordon miss here at any stage, they leave quite an easy 8 ball for Alex and Weissing to tackle.
So yeah, again, good chance for Thomas and Gordon here to just clean up. I don't think the position play is as important here. It's just about queuing properly and not losing sight of the pot, because you can make easy mistakes here. Just concentrate, and then the guys should be okay.
Yeah, after all, once this game of pool, as we know today, was once called pocket billiards. The aim of the game is to pocket balls. So as long as they can do that, the balls are in very simple positions. Should be able to run out pretty easily.
I think I'd definitely position for the 10 before the 13, because if you take the 13 before the 10, you don't know how the cue ball's going to react. So I'd play for the 10 in the side here or something.
I think they're playing for the 13 actually. Oh no, they've kind of left a weird angle on this though.
I think playing on the 10 in the middle was okay, because even if they miss position,
it's fine because the 13's
they would
hanging in
have
the
the
pocket, right? Yeah. Some people may be tempted to take pocket hangers first in a run out, but because of the ability you have to cheat the pocket with pocket hangers, it makes them very useful for playing position on the 8. So you see they've left it for last now, which was a very smart choice. Even though they don't really need to do much with the cue ball here, you always want to look to leave your pocket hangers for last, or it's like an insurance in case you mess up position. And you see they finished perfectly straight on the 8 ball here, so pretty much ideal. And it looks to be them taking a 4-2 lead.
yeah, nice clean up there from Thomas and Gordon, and they're on the hill. So
It's a very tough position for Alex and Weissing to come back from. They're going to make 3 frames on the trot here, and with Gordon and Thomas breaking in this frame, that could be a very tough ask of Alex and Weissing.
So here we go. Probably another firm speed, firm power break from Thomas here.
Interesting to note that even with the availability of a magic rack, Gordon and Thomas all day have opted not to use it.
I think maybe it's not as essential for 8 ball as it is for something like 9 ball, where you have to get the wing ball in.
For me, I still like the magic rack in 8 ball because much like the wing ball in 9 ball and the second row of balls in the rack, the 2 balls behind the head ball and the corner balls of an 8 ball rack, if you get a square hit and a nice stroke on the ball, the middle balls tend to fly towards the middle pocket and the corner balls will go towards the corner. So you can sort of predict what's going to happen in an 8 ball rack, and the best way to do that is have a consistent rack, and really the only way to do that is with a magic rack. But I think it also adds an element of safety to their break. If they rack it poorly, it's just going to be tied up, which definitely favors them.
I think stripes are really good here. All the balls are open for Alex and Weissing to take.
Except that 9 and 12 ball, but I think they should be able to get sort of just behind the 9 ball and play it along the rail, and that sort of sorts out all their problems on the table.
I think maybe the 7 ball has the pocket blocked for the 15. So Alex and Weissing just discussing how to position for the 15, or if they want to move it.
Just looking at the 10 ball in the top left corner of the table, I'm pretty sure it's slightly out from the rail and the pocket, but it's a little bit closer. They could play short side on the 15 into the corner, and it would be a very large pocket. I'm not sure if you can see from here, Harris, but is that a possibility of kind of playing it off
Yeah,
the
no.
off the 10 ball into the corner pocket?
Yeah, the pocket's huge. So I think definitely short side is a good option as well. Pretty high percentage option there.
See Alex just trying to reach across the table there for his piece of chalk.
I think because the balls are so open, it's like this do or die for Alex and
Oh, the 12 ball goes in the middle. Oh yeah, this is a piece of cake then. You know, they just got to stay in control. And the run out looks pretty on here, if I'm honest. An interesting shot as well would be to leave the 13 in the middle pocket and just play the 15 into it to kind of deal with the 15.
Oh yeah, no, that's another good solution as well. I think that I actually like that a lot because then you'll know where the 15 is going.
Yeah, it's just going to end up somewhere near center table, and that's always ideal. I think he's finished just short side of the 9, so he's gonna have to. He's kind of forced to play the 13 ball here, which is a shame. Would have liked to leave that there, and they've already cleared the 10 ball, so they've almost made this 15 ball almost stuck in a cage, you know. That's assuming it doesn't pass the 7 into the corner pocket, which from our angle we can't really tell. But the way they're playing it, maybe it does. They've played it now for the 11 ball. I think he'll opt instead to play the 14. He's got a nice angle on that.
Maybe the 15 goes.
Maybe it does. Oh, it does. It went. So all that hoo-ha about how we're going to deal with the 15 ball, it went the whole time. You know, that's the game of 8 ball, guys.
Great shot there then. I think
Your eyes are almost more important than your cue or the balls, you know.
I think really good chance for a break and run here for Alex.
100%. I want to be leaving that 14 ball as their key ball. And it looks like to be... he's kissed it off the 3 ball. That was kind of a small pocket, but... Seems to be the story of this match. It's just Alex and Weissing doing all the hard work and just leaving an open table. And then losing the frame. After some sort of tactical exchange.
So the 7 and the 2 are also lying pretty awkwardly. I don't think the 7 goes in the bottom left. So that's another problem for Thomas and Gordon to deal with.
Definitely not, but I think where the 6 ball is, if it passes the 14, they should be out of with, you know, they've got how many object balls left to go before that? They've got 5 balls before they need to sort of deal with that. Somewhere along the way, they'll definitely have an opportunity to deal with that. Well, they kind of opted to go at it now, but it looks like they've only made it worse. And what looks to be no easy shot from this position.
I think Gordon played he definitely played the breakout angle there, but the speed was a little light, so that even if he hit the pack, the balls weren't really going to disperse. So it would have been nice of him to maybe give that shot a little more speed. But maybe a safety coming up here.
Yeah, I kind of like just rolling up on the 7 ball, kind of flicking it out from the rail, which will also kind of move the 2 ball, right? So then you have the chance to leave it behind the 7 and block every path on the table, so any of the strike balls. So that's a potentially lock-up safety here for Gordon and Thomas. But I think they might have just a little bit too much angle to perform that shot. We'll have to see what they go for. I think that's what they're discussing right now. What do you like here, Harris?
I think he's playing your shot, Jake.
Oh no, he's
So
playing
just
a little.
rolling
He's
up.
playing a little differently. Look, it's kind of like opted just leave it frozen on the 14 ball.
I think it's still on there. I think
It definitely doesn't pass the 8 ball.
Oh, you're right, yeah. I think Alex still has to dig down and sort of hit the 14.
Yeah,
it's the only ball he can hit.
To prevent the double hit.
So yeah, right idea from Gordon and Thomas. They just want to sort of prolong the frame and wait for Alex and Weissing to deal with all the problems. And I think probably a really good outcome here for them after Alex hits this 14. Everything's going to be wide open.
Ooh, he could see the 9 ball. He almost cut it in the middle. That would have been a fantastic shot. finished nicely on the 11. It's kind of a shame, but I think he also had a shot at the 14 there.
I like
I like taking
14. Oh, sorry, the solids.
They're solids, yeah. Looks like he's taking. This is good. He can just sort of come back across one rail, maybe hit the second rail, and just finish nicely on the 7. Looks like that's what he's done. I don't know if he's got there, but we'll see.
Maybe he'll play the 1 here and leave the 4 into the middle so he can roll up onto the side rail after the 4 to take the 7.
It's an interesting choice. See, in that case, I would have liked to leave, what was that, the 5 ball? Or the 3 ball, close to the 11 ball there, and played the 4 ball instead, because there was a nice angle to just sort of soft draw it into the line of the 7 ball. But he could see the 1 ball, so not really an issue. Looks like to be, they left it kind of slightly off for the 4 ball straight into the middle, which would have been perfect to just sort of roll forward for the 7.
Yeah, but it would have been ideal. I think the speed was in the middle there. I think if Thomas either overpaced that a little or underpaced a little, they would have been in perfect position. But yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do here. Since the 4, I don't think the 4 passes into the bottom left.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny position. You'd almost have to sort of stun over off the 4 to the 6, and then maybe if you can finish somewhat straight, you can try to knock out the 2, and finish somewhere maybe on the 7 or the 2 ball. But depends how straight they are on the 4. He's opted instead to play the 7, and that's a fantastic shot. I think he's a little thin on this though.
Yeah, he had the window there. That was really insane. Queued it perfectly as all. The 7 went straight in. Nice shot. What are you looking for? Your what? And the 2 definitely passes in the bottom left here.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
I think
So
that makes the rack really easy, actually.
yeah, it does. That was our only concern here in this rack, and it's not even a concern. So looking pretty on to close out this final frame. Well, possibly final frame.
So maybe 1 rail out here for Thomas, just above the 2. You're a murderer, Jake.
There was just a mosquito flying very close to the microphone. I've already been eaten alive yesterday by mosquitoes, and I'm not looking to make it worse. So I absolutely just destroyed that mosquito.
Speaking of mosquitoes, the heat is approaching Sydney.
This is true.
And what better place to come than City here is when the air conditioning finally gets
Yeah, I was gonna say when the air conditioning's working. Otherwise, there's no bigger sweat box in Sydney. It's in a basement. There's no ventilation whatsoever, and yeah, you come into City Heroes on a hot day when the air conditioning's broken. Trust me, you're just gonna. It's like a boiler room.
But it's definitely on today.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think they
It's
always
stayed
turn it
nice
on
and
when
cool
it's
today,
hot.
but it's actually not that hot outside today. There's quite a nice breeze, and even though the temperature might be high, the chill factor of the breeze is kind of making it tolerable at least.
I think Gordon's looking at if he takes the 2 first, whether his angle's big enough to come back for the 6. And if not, he'd probably take the 4 and leave a wide angle on the 2 to come for the 6.
Yeah, I like
It's
that.
up to them how they
I
want
like
to play
that
it.
look there actually.
Yeah, I definitely like rolling up on the 4, staying on the left side of the 2, and then you'll have an easy position on the 6.
Looks like he's stunning it, and he's got a slight angle, so he could instead choose to leave. I think he's landed pretty straight on this, which is far from ideal. Might have to force some kind of angle here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there wasn't enough angle to come to that side if he didn't just roll forward. I would have taken the longer pot there.
So I like
And that
coming
bang.
just a bit further across, closer to the side rail, and then just playing the other angle, the other way, and sliding down from the 6 ball towards the 8. He's trying to force the angle there with a very powerful stun shot, and as you can see, 2 ball has rattled very badly in the pocket, but I think it may or may not block the 14. Alex is just checking that now. And he's just said that there's a possibility to cheat the 14 ball, so maybe a chance here for Alex and Weiser. But they'll have to play that 14 ball next because there's no angle for them to... Well, there is, but it's not ideal to get on the 14 from the 9 ball. So I'd be choosing to sort of stun out 1 rail and trying to finish somewhat straight on the 14 ball.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how they're going to deal with this 14 ball. If they come middle of table, then clearly the 14 ball
I
goes.
think he's opting to play the 9 ball first. How's the angle there? I think he's got a slide angle, so they're pretty close to the ball, so I'd be playing this maybe 2 tips inside and follow to just come up 2 rails just above the close to center table, just below. They could do that or kind of force it with right spin as well. Slide back over towards the 14.
They didn't.
Chalk on that?
Did you take them off?
Can we just give them to them?
Where they could put it? Because they already said no. If it is Leon, obviously don't want it. And Will doesn't need it. We just give it a peek. Like, not
give him
peek,
out.
Will.
Because we have to dump them.
So Alex has quite a slight angle on the 14 here, which is almost perfect to just roll up on the 8 ball into the bottom right corner. Taking his time on this one, just trying to guarantee the pot. He has to cheat the pocket slightly, which makes this a little bit more difficult. And he's done almost as well as he could have done there. He kind of babied the shot because he didn't want to miss it. But it's definitely cuttable, and with this angle, almost no chance of a scratch for Weissing. So all he has to do is just pot the ball.
I think Alex just weighing up where Weissing should leave the cue ball.
I think there's only one way the cue ball's going here, and that's towards the top cushion. So,
Exactly. But I mean, like the speed, he wants to leave it up to the top.
yeah. I think you're better off just guaranteeing, just going all in for the pot here, and you got to give props to Thomas and Gordon here. They played fantastic ball all day, and up 4-2. You just gotta throw caution to the wind and just go for it. This is actually one of Alex's strengths, I would say. It's very thin cuts. He likes these a lot. So he's just helping Weissing kind of line up the shot, doing his best to guarantee the pot and keep them in this match. What would you do in this situation, Harris? Would you opt to play safe? Would you go
I
for-
would just do what you do, Jake.
Yeah, just send
Like
it
I was
right.
saying at the start, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think if you just be optimistic about your
Have some
your
faith in
play.
your own ability,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Be confident.
Yeah.
I would just fire it, like you said. Like
Yeah.
your suggestion was probably the best in this show. If they're like, actually, I was watching a match earlier today, where it was Fook and Reiko versus these two, versus
Yeah.
Alex and Weissing.
Yeah.
And Fook and Reiko had 2 object balls left and the 8 ball and a ball in hand. But their layout was slightly awkward. So they spent about, like 10 minutes, I'd say, 10 minutes sort of deliberating what they were going to do and discussing the shot. And then what ended up happening was they potted 1 ball and then they ended up scratching after that 10 minutes of discussion.
I think I saw this, yeah.
And I don't know, after watching that, I was thinking, I think the best way to play those shots is to just not to overthink it, because overthinking can be just as
bad, right?
as
Yeah,
not thinking at all.
100%, yeah.
So I think take some consideration into shots, but too much can be, a little too much at times. I think I would definitely just fire this.
He's opted to bank the ball instead, which was, I think, definitely a questionable situation. They may have just thrown the match. The only way I see this going wrong is the 8-ball. It's tied up to the rail, so which either makes it a very tough or a very easy shot depending on the player. I know I tend to prefer when a ball is frozen to the rail, because you can kind of play a little bit rail first with a bit of inside, and it gives you a larger margin for error. And he's missed the 2-ball.
I think after sitting down for a long time there, Gordon sort of quick stroke that.
Yeah, don't mean to be rude, but kind of a bit of a taste of their own medicine there.
And then I think Alex has to stroke through this. Follow through.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to baby this one, because then the 8-ball will kind of just throw and go offline. And he's hit it poorly. See Alex here, over to our left, just getting a little bit tilted after that one.
Only one rail up for Thomas here, that's what I'll guess he'd play.
Oh, actually, I think he might have come too far over, and they
Definitely would have played the 2-rail or 3-rail.
2-rail was much better with inside
think,
there. Yeah, 100%. That's what I would have gone for.
Obviously, there's some situations where the
think
snooker approach and the pool approach contrast, but definitely in that situation, I think
That was the more optimal shot, 100%.
It was the more correct shot. Since
I think
you would have come into the corner, the bottom right corner, as opposed to this line. Which
That's their one weakness in this competition is, as snooker players, they lack the knowledge of the game of pool and just the experience to know when to play, take the extra rail, or just hold the ball or something like that. I've been watching them all day, and they're very hesitant to let their stroke out and use multiple rails, and that's a lot of the time that's the best approach for this game.
I mean, to each their own, right? Like
100%.
Everyone plays differently, obviously, but we all have. For instance, pool players have stuff to learn from snooker. Snooker players have stuff to learn from pool.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all about hybridization, I guess. And
I try to apply that sort of philosophy to my own game. I take in terms of fundamentals, I like to take more of a snooker approach, and using the chess to align the cue to improve stroke cueing, using as little side spin as possible. But in terms of positional play, I like to let my stroke out as much as possible, and just use that extra rail where possible.
So maybe
I think
maybe they'll thin this 6-ball on the right side,
Yeah.
and come back to the top of the table.
Okay, yeah, I
and
like that.
sort of only leave the bank as an offensive option.
Yeah.
And then that way, if they play like this, the 6 will block the short side pocket.
A very simple option would just be to roll it up on the 6-ball and leave them jacked up over the 6.
That's like a Chinese snooker.
Yeah.
Maybe I think they'll play your shot, Jake, or something similar. They'll leave it up this end rather than the other end.
Problem with this, you have to hit this full ball. And he's left it on the side rail, which makes this a very difficult shot hitting down on the cue ball.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice to leave it sort of up near the top half.
Yeah, it's very easy to swerve this ball slightly. But look where the 6-ball's finished. That's a very tough pot.
Exactly. Lysing can just leave this as a 2-way. It's a really easy shot.
He just has to roll it across the table. He's opted just to play the safety altogether. And I think he's left the cue ball on the end rail, correct? That's a pretty good effort from Lysing, and the 8-ball's now in center table, so should they get another chance, that 8-ball is potable into every single pocket on the table.
Actually, I've noticed that in the last 30 minutes, all the players from both teams have just been really tensing up.
Yeah.
I think definitely the heat has gone. Gordon and Thomas aren't as warmed up as they were before, and Thomas and Alex and Weissing are feeling the tilt a little.
Yeah, but I think Alex and Weissing have also started to syncopate up to Gordon and Thomas's rhythm and just taking their time and taking a little bit of extra care on each shot. Whereas in the start of the match, you saw that they were very quick and almost careless, making a lot of unforced errors, and he's missed this shot, and it looks to be quite an elementary part on the 8-ball for Alex. He practices these all day long, the stroke cueing exercises, This sort of shot is no problem for him. I think he'll put this one to bed, and we'll be at 4-3. Oh, he's missed the pot. That's what happens. You're in your chair for a while.
I think he played it correctly though. He definitely wanted to play the two-way to leave the cue ball
Has the 8-ball blocked the 6
up on the
par?
top right-hand side of the table.
Interesting to note here though is with this card position on the 8-ball is almost impossible from the 6. You got to play this with a metric ton of inside spin to even get close to the 8-ball. So I think they'll once again opt to play safe here. From this angle, I like a half ball hit with a touch of inside spin to just bring it back up to the top rail. A simple snooker safety they're probably very familiar with. Sort of start off the tangent line parallel to the length of the table and just leave it on the end rail. But they do risk hitting the 8-ball if they go for that shot, so they may have to play something different. You want to hear an interesting shot here, Harris? I don't know how the line of the 6 ball is. Hit the 6 ball, full ball, call safe, just stun it, because then you're safe on the 8, right? Guaranteed safe on the 8. And then just pray that the 6 ball goes around like 4 rails in the corner pocket. Like that old Chris Melling shot, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the angle's big enough for them to scratch, but that's definitely a...
Oh, they're hitting a
That
full
would be
ball,
a-
it's just going to stop the ball, right? So... And where it is, it'll leave... They won't even be able to back cut, you know, go rail first on the 8 into the corner pocket, so I think that's what they're doing actually. He's chosen to just roll the 6 ball up on the 8 ball. That's dirty, but there's a pretty simple safety on here for Alex and Weissing. I think the balls are frozen, so I like just rolling up on it and just playing a counter snooker. What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen to the 8 ball after
I
they hit
think
it?
they just have to be careful that...
If
this-
they overhit this, it
Yeah.
could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, so the speed that they hit the 8 ball, if they hit it too hard, the 6 ball will lie over the pocket, so that it'll be an easy putt for Thomas and Gordon.
It's a very touchy shot, so...
So Weissing and Alex have to be really careful with the speed here.
You know, I almost like rolling up on the 6 ball and giving an intentional foul here. But then again, it's just gonna give a perpetual ball in hand to Gordon and Thomas. But I don't know how experienced they are in those sort of situations. You kind of get those in 8 ball sometimes, where it's just your best option is just foul on purpose. And because we don't play a 3 foul rule in 8 ball, I don't think anyone in the world does, right? So you can just sort of give ball in hand infinitely until something develops from like a stalemate situation. That was another way I saw of playing it, was to play behind the 6 ball, but there's a pretty simple snooker here, but if they play it just straight to play a snooker, they're going to slowly bump the 8 towards the pocket.
Actually, I think it's better to just play thin off the 6 and come down table. That way you knock the 6 out and it's potable, and you leave the 8 down here. I think that would be the shot to play. If they roll up, like you said, Jake, they're just going to leave it in a perpetual snooker and ball in hand between both teams. So I don't think that's the shot to play here. I think the winning shot is to come thin off the 6, come down table, leave the 8 where it is. That way your 6 is potable.
I think this is a pretty similar situation to a video that Dr. Dave Billiards did, this sort of endgame situation in 8 ball. He came up with a variety of solutions for this. One of them is just rolling the ball, but eventually going to push the 8 towards the pocket, right? And that was, he noted that. So I think your option of just thinning the 6 and sort of flicking it out from the rail to make it a little bit easier on the pot if they finish somewhere further up the table.
Yeah, I just really don't like... I just don't like rolling up on it like this. I think that's what Thomas is playing, but this shot, it's so hard to control the speed.
I think the 8 ball is slightly off the rail though, so I think the 8 ball will go away from the rail. Yeah, see? They left it on.
Yeah, I didn't like that shot at all. I really think the thin off the 6 was the correct shot there. Because, like you said, Jake, the problem with that was that the 8 was enough
Off the
out
rail?
of the rail that it was going to come potable after that. And again, the speed was too hard to control there.
Pretty careless shot there from Thomas, so...
Yeah, pretty easy cleanup. And just like that, we're at 4-3 or 4?
It's 4-3 now, 4-3 still in favor of Gordon Thomas, but that's got to be a confidence booster for Weissing and Alex. Getting pumped, they've got the break. I want to see them just get on a roll here, make some balls, maybe make a break and run. That would be really what they need to get them back in this match. So I'm not sure who's got the break. I think it's Weissing here.
So yeah, definitely one of the longest Scotch doubles matches we've had in
Approaching the
history.
2 hour mark.
Yeah, it's been a long day, Jake.
Yeah. I think this is the latest a CueSoc tournament would have ever finished, no?
I think 6 o'clock. It's gone to 6 o'clock before.
Yeah.
I forget which tournament, but I was there. It's definitely been longer than this. Yeah. We're approaching that record mark, no doubt.
I think I would like, if I were on Weissing and Alex's team, I would be having Weissing the break here. He's got a very clean. He didn't get a ball, that's a shame, but he controlled the cue ball very nicely there. Perfect center table position, which is ideally what you want off the break.
So I think with either group, you've got the striped 9 ball blocking the 3 ball, and then if you take stripes, you've got the 1 ball in the bottom left here blocking the pocket 2. So kind of considerations to take in for both groups depending on which one you want to take. So they're electing to take the solids, play with a combo and a shot, and yeah, again, the only problem to deal with, I guess, in this rack is the 3 ball, since it doesn't pass by as 9, and it doesn't pass short side either. It doesn't pass by the 15 in the bottom left. So.
Any words of advice from the previous Scotch doubles champion?
Just my words of advice from before.
Just pot?
I think Thomas has to avoid the kiss on the 8 here if he wants to come back out for any of the solids.
He played it with a lot of right hand side. Almost risk potting
Really
the 8
nice
ball
shot.
there.
That was a really nice shot.
And these solid balls are looking, aside from the 3 ball, looking pretty wide open.
How are your throats going? Getting kind of dry after 2.5 hours?
I had 1.5 liters of water. I came prepared, Alex.
How long has the match been going for?
1 hour and 54 minutes.
12 or 7 frames.
It's kind of finished a little bit funny here. I think you still got the 6 ball. You can just sort of play it out 1 rail for the 4.
Yeah, I think 6 is okay here. But again, they're going to clean up all the balls and then maybe play a bank on the 3 is the only option I see.
I don't think they're going to favour a bank shot here. They'll probably just instead to use the 3 to play safe. If you look at the lay of the balls here, if you manage to leave it on the top cushion there, it should be pretty safe. I don't want to leave it towards the right-hand side of the table though, near the just above the 5 ball. Though that will go in the corner pocket, if you can manage to leave it on the rail, it's definitely a tough pot.
And yeah, Glum's still got the 4 here. So again, I think he's just going to come 1 rail out here, sort of come maybe a few centimeters out for the 5 ball in the top right, and then we'll see what they decided to do with the 3 ball.
He's hit that one really well. Came around 2 rails, back to center table, but looks like no real position on anything, unless Thomas opts to cut the 5 ball in the middle.
Yeah, I think he'll probably take this in the middle.
Yeah.
And come around.
And I don't even think he needs to come around. I think it's so thin that he can just come across 1 rail towards the 3 ball, but He might want to hit this double speed and come across twice across the table. You know, it might even be worth a shot at just trying to hit 3-ball and break it out, because it's blocked into both corner pockets by the 9 and 13, is that the 15 ball, sorry. So, it's your last object ball before playing the 3, so you may as well take the risk, and even if it doesn't work out, you can try and play some sort of safety for sure.
I think if it was Hill and Alex and Weissing were one frame up, in this exact same situation we would see Gordon and Thomas play safe somewhere. But because they've still got a frame leeway, I think probably take on the bank here, like your option, Jake. Take the 3, hope that it goes in, hope for a roll, and then if it doesn't, you know, that's the best you could do in this situation.
And they look to have just missed the bank shot, so... But from the looks, they've tied up the 3-ball once again, but this time a little closer to the 9-ball, so they might be able to play both balls at once, depending on the position they get. If you want to play that sort of shot, you got to get quite straight and play it with quite a lot of draw to transfer some topspin to the 3-ball, so that will roll into the pocket after it hits the 9-ball. But I don't think Alex and Weissing have a shot here. Yeah, they've opted to play safe, and they've made their layout a lot worse. But I think they've snookered.
I think it's okay.
I think they've full ball snookered on both of this all balls here, so quite a good outcome.
I think the 15 and the 11 combo quite nicely. They're sitting pretty straight, and also with the 3 and the 9, they're also pretty straight. So
I
if
think they're kind of forced to hit the 3-ball here, so that might even just deal with the problem right now.
yeah, exactly. But even if
Yeah, look, there it is. So,
yeah, there we go. So the problem's gone, like you said, Jake. And so a whole lot less to deal with for Alex and Weissing. Again, that combo on the left is lying pretty easy, and all the other stripes have a pocket to go in. So I think
definitely a tough opener on the 14 ball here.
yeah, just a tester in the middle, and then after that, the rack should be wide open.
Yeah, smooth sailing, I would say. What a shot from Weissing to lead them mostly straight on the combination here. Let's see if Alex goes to play it. I think potentially the 11 ball is slightly off the rail, which would make this almost impossible. He seems to be going for it, so I'm going to assume that these are quite straight. Right, the 11 ball was a little bit off the rails, so that combination was actually not on. But they've instead just chosen to play kind of like a two-way shot, break it out. And while the 3 ball, they can see more than the full ball, there's no way to pot this, so Weissing and Alex will get another visit.
So how are the commentators going?
We've been sitting here for 2 hours, Weissing, for a race to 5, so you can tell that we're pretty tired, but I get a feeling this won't go for much longer. How's the safety effort? Pretty poor, if I'm honest. Almost straighted on the 11 ball, so a great chance for Weissing and Alex here. What are your thoughts pattern-wise here, Harris?
I don't think it matters too much. I think they just have to get in stroke again after sitting down for so long. And it shouldn't matter too much about which order they take the balls in, since the 13 and the 15 are pretty good for getting
key
on the
balls.
8.
They're great key balls, yeah. I think they're going to play the 10, 13, and then leave a little bit of an angle on the 13 to just sort of roll up towards the 15. And if they get mostly straight, they're pretty much out. Oh, no, that was the risk with that shot. Do not... Oh, no. Why didn't you just roll it, Alex? Why didn't you just roll it?
That was possibly the worst outcome. And
I think Alex just stroked it firm because he wanted to be sure of the pot. It
Yeah.
makes that pot a lot easier.
but in doing so, he kind of stunned the ball directly into the middle pocket. I would have preferred to play that a lot softer. He kind of played above center, just like above with like a stun shot, but you could have got the same effect, same sort of line, with a soft stroke and just hitting below center. So I would have personally opted to do that. But
I think not a given for Thomas and
this is
Dewanta.
actually quite an awkward layout because they got to come across the table for the 3 to the 5, and then back down for the 8. So, and with the 8 kind of in the middle of the rail, stuck to it, it's not a gimme in terms of the last ball. If you were to pick a position on the table where you would least like to have your 8 ball, I'd say that's probably it. The other place would be like close to the jaws in the middle pocket, with maybe an uneven jaw. Let's see what they opt to do here, though. If they weren't sure of the run out here, what I might like doing here is just kind of rolling the 3 ball up on the 15 for a snooker. But that doesn't really accomplish anything, so they're just going to slide across for the 5 and hope for some sort of angle so they can get back down for the 8. He's come close to a scratch there himself. I think he might be hooked on the jaw of the pocket here, which would be... He's not. But this is a lot tougher than it should be.
I don't think it's too bad here. The angle, he could just
He just kind of...
he could just top it.
Yeah, I
And then hit
like
the
that.
side rail and then come back to the bottom right.
Yeah.
And leave it as a 2-way even if he misses. Should be fine.
But if he plays this too softly, he might just leave them on the 15 ball. Pace is important here.
That was the shot.
What a shot, but no position on the 8 ball because of the kiss on the 15 there, which is kind of unfortunate, but not really much you could do. You kind of just had to play that one, center ball, top spin, and hope for the best.
I think that was definitely the correct shot. And yeah, the kiss on the 15 is something that, because it was so thin, they've ended up sort of in the middle of the table here. I think another easy 2-way.
You could almost just kind of hit this half ball and softly bank the 8 ball towards the 15 and then leave
Yeah.
the cue ball on the end rail and maybe even get a snooker here. I think that's what they'll opt to do. That seems to be the optimal shot from what I can see.
So yeah, half ball hit, not too hard. Leave the 8 sort of near the bottom left corner pocket, and then it'll be safe on the 15.
And they've done pretty well. But they have left the 15 ball on, so kind of a tough shot, but they could potentially bank this into the bottom right-hand corner. I think they're just opting to play safe though. They don't want to take the risk. They've opted to play kind of a similar shot there, and that's actually a pretty good outcome.
What's really nice about this as well is I don't think the 8 banks into the middle. There's not really an offensive option here. Maybe the only thing I'm seeing is they could maybe hit the 8 into the 15 really softly, leave the cue ball behind the 8 on this side, on the left side of the table. But the speed control is really tough there.
And they're also really thin on the 8 ball, so actually playing that shot will be really difficult to just guarantee a clean contact, how they want it on the 15 ball. So the way I see it, that's kind of a risky shot. What I might do here though, Harris, is sort of try and roll the 8 ball close to the rail to block the 15's path to the bottom left-hand corner, and just sort of roll the cue ball up table. that's probably the simplest safety option they have here, aside from your option.
Maybe even if they hit the 8 ball full and sort of the 15 goes up towards the top middle part of the table, since it'll just hit just below the side pocket there and go towards the top rail. Oh, they're calling it in the corner. I think Thomas will try and cut this. Just got to stay down in this shot. Stroke through it again.
Played the cut shot. I didn't think that went past the 15, but what looks to have happened is they've left them the perfect shot on the 15 ball here. Super natural towards the 8.
I was practicing that shot earlier, Jake.
Oh yeah?
Sort of thin cuts along the rail. And definitely if you put like a tip of outside spin there, or left hand spin in that case, it'll sort of drag the 8 ball in off the rail. The 8 ball will sort of grip the rail more and it's easier to go in, but unfortunate there from Thomas, so I think easy layout for Alex to clean up here, and Weissing to take the 8 in the corner.
Yeah, I've been having a similar approach to those kind of shots recently as well. It really helps to also minimize cut and just throw, so kind of a double-edged sword there, and Alex has played a perfect shot there.
And wow, after 2 hours of gameplay, we are here at the climax of this
Hill,
match.
guys.
The hill.
You've been waiting for it. I don't know, you guys probably aren't watching this video that long. Like, honestly, this has been a sit through even for us, and we're commentating, so here it is, finally. We've been now here at City Heroes for close to 8 hours. Well, no, in my case, exactly 8 hours. I arrived here at 20 to 10 this morning, so it's been a long day, but here we are. Last frame of the day, Hill in the finals. If you had to pick a winner right now, Harris, who would it be?
Honestly, it'll go either way with these teams. I think they've all been playing, pretty well, and the level is pretty consistent between all the players. They're all really similar, so this match could go anyone's way. What I'm not hoping to see is a potted 8 ball off turn. That would be devastating.
Yeah, it's good to see Alex breaking as well, which should lead to a nice spread. So a bit of an open competition for the last frame, more of a shootout than a tactical exchange. And you see his tip has just come off his break cue on the last break of the frame. If there was any time for that to happen, it would be now. Massive drama. That's okay. At least it didn't happen on the last break. Wow, how unfortunate for Alex. Hopefully he can use some of his prizes from this event to pay for a tip change here at City Heroes. One of the many services they offer here, including Q-Wrap changing, tip changing services, and I believe they do shaft conditioning as well. What a time for that to happen.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Somehow Alex, despite the enormous amount of power he put behind that break, enough to break his own tip, has not sunk a ball, so an open table for Gordon and Thomas.
So the 3 ball in the top there should pass the either pocket. I think important or key ball in this frame will be the 2 ball for Thomas and Gordon. If it goes in the middle, that's an option. They can take it in the middle. Kind of hard to break out, honestly, from any of the other balls. So maybe he'll go off the 5 here. Yeah. Ooh.
He's rattled it. Question is, I think the 14 should pass here, definitely. It looks like the balls are kind of just sitting, touching, or just not touching, parallel to the length of the table, so 14 should definitely pass. Alex just showing Weissing where he wants the cue ball, but kind of tough to judge this with minimal angle. He's done very well there. Almost exactly where Alex signaled to put when he put his chalk down on the table, so it's kind of a good angle to maybe have a look at the 9 ball as well here. That's exactly what he's done, and a little bit unfortunate though.
I think he hit it with stun, so he hit the 9 ball really full, and it didn't really retain any of the power, so it sort of stayed near the long rail there.
And Weissing's missed a pretty simple shot there, but where's that 15 ball going to finish? Which isn't too bad, but I think I'll probably take the 5 ball first, and it just made the 3 ball a lot more difficult for Gordon and Thomas here, where they have to get short side on it. How's the position here? I think he's finished. Oh, he's scratched. So this could be a great chance for Alex and Weissing to maybe have a go at closing out the frame.
Well, okay. Would you leave the 15 here, Jake, and play the 9 first, or would you play the 15 first and then the 9?
I think the 15 to the 9 is more natural position because you have to get short side on the 9, right? And if there was any ball you could pick on the table to do that, it would definitely be the 15 ball, right?
But they have ball in hand.
Yeah, I know, but they could play the 9 ball first, but then I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just personal preference in this case. But I think the 12 and the 11 aren't a problem. They go clean into the middle pocket. So I think they'll opt to play the 9 ball first because obviously it's just a long shot. So
Yeah, I think the only problem with playing the 15 first in that case is
you
want to be good.
You want to be nice and
queuing to be
straight.
nice.
And he's missed the shot. Maybe the pressure, but it looks like he's left. No, that's just. That's just a poor miss from Alex. That could have cost him the match here and the tournament. But to be fair, they have left them very straight. Well, not very straight, but quite straight on the 7 ball here. But from the looks of it, they can kind of just place a little bit of follow, just a touch, and just cleanly roll towards the 3 ball. Looks to be exactly what he's doing. Oh, he's got behind the 15.
I definitely would have. I think I favoured Thomas just stunning it there and taking
Popping the
harder angle.
thinner shot, yeah.
The speed was so hard to control.
Sometimes in this game, you just got to take what you're given, you know. It's important to be able to recognize when to do that and when to, try and get pretty on the next ball. But in that instance, they were better off just taking the tougher shot for sure. Maybe even a stun run through would have been better. As snooker players, they're probably fairly knowledgeable on how to play a stun run through shot, which, in many people's opinion, is one of the most difficult shots to play. A stun run through is where you play a stun shot, depending on the distance, so that it's skidding like a normal stun shot would until just before it hits the object ball, so it has a slight bit of forward rotation when it hits the object ball, so it will roll forward just a couple of inches. It's very difficult to control, and there's a lot of variables that influence it, so it's one of the tougher shots in the game to play consistently. But I would have liked to see them try and play that, and they've just massaged the 3 ball there, which was a good effort. What are your thoughts here, Harris? A little bit straight on the 15, so
I think Weissing will be okay getting up table. Never mind, but this is okay as well. He'll probably just definitely, I think he needs to stop the 9 for Alex needs to stop the 9 for Weissing, so Weissing can take the 12 into the right middle, since the 12 and the 11 don't go in this bottom left.
Alex has just sort of lost his way a little bit in this last frame. Not queuing perhaps as well and as straight as he was earlier in the day, but I think they've got a little bit of a fortunate roll there, and that the 3 doesn't go. The 4's a very tough cut, and what they're left with is the 1 ball, which is stuck on the rail with a very, very thin cut. So they may opt to play this rail first with a touch of inside to come down for the 4 ball next, which would force them to play the 3 last, which is less than ideal. So they're opting to play the 3 ball first. And he's got the pot. That was a lot easier than I thought it was. And it looks like the position on the 4 ball was natural, and they just judged the pace to perfection. So with a slight angle on the 4 ball here, they can just roll up close to the 1 ball with a long shot in the corner, and with a simple sun shot, they'll be right on the 8. In saying that, we've been playing now for almost, well, a little bit over 2 hours. We started recording just before the match started, and our recording now says 2 hours, 17 minutes. So
Or just under that.
Yeah.
A bit of a silent period.
yeah. So, you know, anything could happen at this late stage in the match. You know, concentration's probably definitely at the lowest it's been all day. So either of these pots are quite missable with them glued to the rail.
I think Gordon will just roll up here. Definitely play conservative, just roll up for the short side of the 1.
But if he underhits this, he could leave a very tough cut on the 1 ball, which would almost eliminate the possibility of playing safe, and that's exactly what's happened. He overhit it instead, and it's probably a worse result, I'd say. He's jacked up over the 13.
I think he tried to force it so that he could come above the 1, but the angle just wasn't there. I definitely would have
definitely
played
not.
conservative there. But not the worst leave. Can sort of just play thin off the 1 on the bottom side here. Maybe come up behind the 8. I think that's the only shot he's got.
The problem with that, I see, is that the 13's in the way, so queuing will be a little awkward. It'll be hard to judge the pace of the shot. So even if the line's good, I think they might leave an opening anyway. And the 1's going to be tracking somewhere towards that 11 and 12 cluster over the middle pocket, so you could almost use those to play safe if you're Alex and Weissing. We'll see what they opt to do though. He's played your shot, Harris, and as predicted, he's not found the gap. He's not found the window behind the 8 to play safe in, and looks to have left an open shot here on the 11 ball. And with the bump on the 12, I'm going to guess that the cue ball's going to stop exactly where the 11 is, almost, and send the 12 ball probably somewhere towards the top side of the table. Which direction do you think it'll go? Do you think it'll go towards the right pocket or the left? I can't really tell from this angle.
12?
Yeah, the 12 ball. They're going to bump the 12 here, right?
I don't think it matters. It'll just be the middle of the table.
Oh no, there was a window, but they've missed the shot, and I think
He played the set to the 2 ways.
I think it's snooker. Yeah, he's definitely snooker behind the 12. So, this is a very tough hit. 1 rail, yeah, but it's gonna send the 13 down. I think they're gonna leave something on here. This is a great chance for Alex and Weissing. Just gotta keep a cool head and not let the pressure get to them. They're in the driver's seat here for this final frame. May not think so with 4 balls left on the table, but at this level, 4 balls on an open table like that is as good as frame over.
So Thomas and Gordon will just be looking to get a good hit here. Just the contact is all he's looking for, and maybe he'll get a roll. Yeah, it was a tough 1 rail kick.
Alright, so a real big chance here for Alex and Weissing to close out the match and the tournament. Opting to take the 13 ball first. Opting to leave the 13 for last. In my mind, that's a bit of a questionable decision. But I think he said something about it not going. So from the player's perspective, the 13 ball is a risky shot because they risk fouling on the 1. So they're opting to just run the other balls and then maybe play safe at the end to give themselves another chance at a visit to the table and another opportunity to run out.
I think Alex gestured before that the 13 goes in the the middle pocket there on the left side, the left middle pocket. So it's just about getting good position on the bottom right here to take it in the middle off the 12 or the 11 if they decide to play those.
Because this is a hill match, you're seeing them taking a different approach to this match. If this was, say, the second frame of this match, even in the finals, you would have seen probably Alex and Weissing attempt to play some sort of breakout on the 13 and just win the rack that way. But with the immense pressure on them at this point, they want to 100% guarantee their chances of winning this frame. So you see them taking a very methodical approach, taking their time to think about each shot and just consolidating their grind, the absolute grind they've had to go through to make a comeback here. And props to them, honestly. If they win this tournament, it will be well deserved.
And I think the 13 probably goes in the bottom right here too. So Alex will come one rail out or two rails sort of hold on the left side of the table there.
The 13 may go, but I don't think the 1 does, so... I think the 13 is slightly in front of the 1 ball, correct, Harris? So there's no chance of potting it in this instance.
Yeah, the 1 ball doesn't go. And really tough for Thomas and Gordon here since the 11's over the pocket. So playing a safe is going to be really difficult. Because even if they get Alex and Weissing snookered behind the ball, behind the 8 or something like that, it's an easy jump shot. I know Alex and Weissing can both jump. So I'm not sure what they're going to do here. This is a really tough shot. Maybe they can try and bank it to the bottom left with heaps of right hand side, try and avoid the kiss on the 13. But again, that would be an insane shot if they pulled that off. It's all about how this 13 kisses off the 1, because if they can find a way to tie up balls, tie up the 8 or the 13, then I think it'd be good for them.
I think the only viable option of a bank here, and it's a very difficult one, is to bank the 1 ball 2 rails into the left side pocket. But it risks carrying off the 13 ball if you mishit it slightly, so very low percentage shot. What would you go for here, Harris?
I would just play that. I would just send it.
So send it?
Send it into the bank, into the bottom left, and like hill, that's all you can do really.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Looks like he's opting to play a sort of a dump shot. I think he's opting to play safe. And that's
yeah, again, it was really tough any way to play that to get it safe. So pretty good opportunity here for Alex and Weissing.
With that 11 ball hanging in the pocket, they just have to get a little bit close to it and play the pocket hanging position well, and they should be fine. No, I think they might have gotten a little straight on this, potentially, but I don't think Alex should have any problem playing this shot. Yeah, he's dealt with that very well. Just floated the cue ball, straight in shot on the 8. Well deserved to Alex and Weissing, assuming he doesn't miss the shot.
I don't think you can count it out. This is a high pressure shot.
Yeah, 100%. There we go. Woo! Let's go, dude! Congratulations to Weissing and Alex. What a grind that was to get back in that match. Did not crack under the pressure. Stayed focused. What a win.
Yeah, we finally made it, Jake. We made it.
Looking at the timestamp now of the audio recording. 2 hours 26 minutes, boys. I need a smoke, bro.
So I think we'll leave it there. Thank you to CueSoc sponsors, City Heroes obviously. All our events are hosted here. We use them on all the pool tables as well. Nicarin and UNSW. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any parting words, Jake?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Was certainly an intense match, if also a slow one. But I don't know. If you made this into a short film, I think a lot of people would watch it. The short form stickers we have going on now. But yeah, definitely a great match and a great outcome for Weissing and Alex. Congratulations to them.
Yeah. See you in the last comp of the year, or the last individual comp of the year. It should be April comp in October. Oh, not October, November. See you guys then.